Hey everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching me from. Welcome to the King Angel Show, where together we react, learn, and discuss a wide range of topics. We don't react, we review, discuss, learn, go down rabbit holes. That's what we do here at the King Angel Show. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm King Angel, a San Francisco Bay Area live streamer and content creator here on YouTube and Twitch. Another day, another coffee, the news, and us. Another morning hangout. Bam. I love the name of it. Hey. Let me go ahead and open chat real quick. I don't have chat open here. Good morning to everyone. Another day of being live here with you. Gonna go through some entertaining news first. Especially because before I went live today, probably like half an hour ago, I saw that a very important musician passed away this morning. Dang. R.I.P. Harry Belafonte. Hi, good morning. No, there is no stains or spots on my shirt. I appreciate that follow, Afghan644. Thank you very much. It's just a t-shirt. It's my Portishead t-shirt. Let me see, does it look a little... I feel like it looks a little... Just adjusting the camera a bit. Cool. Hope everyone's having a great day. Thank you so much for being here. Like I said, coffee, the news, and us. Another morning hangout. I'm all across social media. I'll go through that really quickly. Bam. Oh, wait. It's on this side. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. Join my Discord, King Angels Entertainment Lounge. It's free. We watch movies, album listens, a little bit of everything there. I try to keep it as entertaining as possible, but with your help it can be a lot more active as well, because I do like conversing. I like watching things, and especially like true crime and stuff like that. Makes for some great conversation, so join that Discord. It's free. If you want to further support me, you can join my Patreon community. That's for $2 a month. You get a whole bunch of benefits, full unedited videos. You get private Discord channels that are only for Patreon members, and like I said, a bunch of other benefits. I am adding more benefits as I see fit and as the community grows, but that is the best way for you to support me. Again, this is my 9 to 5 basically. Like I said, yeah, this is my 9 to 5. So any way that you can support me, please do. You can also support me over on Twitch as well. You can use your Amazon Prime, and that would also help me out a whole bunch. Do you have any Nike, Puma, Adidas, Under Armour, Reebok? If I have, no. Not one of any of those brands that you mentioned. I used to when I was younger, I guess, but I either have band t-shirts or plain colored t-shirts. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I mean, it depends on your perspective, but fortunately, the way I see it, I'm already past that age, so I leave that to the youngsters, their Nike stuff and all that. That's all you. I wear band t-shirts because I'm a huge music fan, but if it's not band t-shirts, it's plain t-shirts, because that's about it. I like to dress more in tune with my age, basically. But that's just my own personal opinion. You can do whatever you want, and people can dress however the fuck they want. Just be happy at the end of the day. But me personally, I don't fuck with any of that. But you will see me with a band t-shirt or a festival t-shirt, or I do have some cannabis ones as well, but it's just the ones that I buy at cups and whatnot. That I'll wear for specific things, but my normal day-to-day life, I either have short sleeve shirts on or t-shirts that are plain. Just different colored t-shirts, but plain colors. Like I mentioned before, today we're doing the news, coffee, the news, and us. Got my cafe right here. Bam. It sucks that you can't really see the thing, but if you're a Red Bull addict, there's no need for that. Go the little bit more natural way. Albeit it does have a lot of sugar in it, so it's not free of that amount of sugar, because it is an energy drink at the end of the day. But it is a lot healthier for you, so it doesn't cause that much harm to you. And the sugar, I guess, that they use is organic, and in my case, it's I guess like semi-local. So I'm helping out a brand, I guess. I mean, they are pretty big. You can find them nationwide at this point, but shout out to them. This is my daily drink. Love it. Guadaki. When I go famous, dude, sponsor me. I'd be so down to show off your product. But come on now. I've been a fan for quite some time now. The least you can do is hook me up with a few cases of these. We all know you can. All right, wonderful. Hope you guys are having a great day. Again, I appreciate you guys being here. Even 1 millisecond of you engaging with me and spending some time with me here, it really means the world to me. And I repeat this a lot. Your time is extremely valuable. Your time is not more valuable than someone else's time, but someone else's time is not more valuable than yours. It's equal. I just want to put that out there. And the fact that, again, because time is borrowed and you only own the time that you are living in the present, because the past already happened, you can't really do anything about it, and your future is uncertain. Since you're only living in the present and you're choosing to spend your present with me here, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Helps me out a lot, motivates me. I really enjoy being in front of a camera. I deeply enjoy entertaining and having conversations, discussing and that engagement between human beings. It's wonderful, dude. It's chef's kiss. So yeah, just want to put that out there and just again say that I'm extremely appreciative of the continued support that I receive, growing every day, and I'm looking forward to having a well-established community that we can all grow together and entertain each other and learn. Because if there's one thing we do here at the King Angel Show is we go down rabbit holes, which is probably what's going to happen today. Happens almost every single time I go live. Last week when we had that scammer come in, that was extremely interesting because albeit I banned him, but we went down that rabbit hole and dude, we were able to figure out so much. We read a lot about all these different types of scams that are around. Friday we did Henry VIII, but who the hell knew that this dude had 6 different wives, went to great lengths to off 2 of them, or was it 3 of them? Yeah, all in the quest to be able to have a son, I guess, which is extremely weird, but not uncommon, because I guess back in the day, that was how everything was done, and marriage was arranged, and it was a business. basically. It was a way and means of survival. He just chose to do that 6 times. But putting his like marriages aside, which is probably what he's known for the most, Henry VIII did things that still are done to this day. I mean, he did form the Royal Navy of England. He separated the Catholic Church, so he took them out of England and established his own church, which was the Church of England, all to get away with divorcing his first wife. It's crazy. Only to marry someone else. That's something. But it was quite interesting. And we learned a whole lot. That's the beauty of this King Angel show. We learn. So this week we're starting with, obviously, like I said before, Coffee, the News, and Us. That's same thing we'll do tomorrow as well. And then for Thursday and Friday we'll do random topic day, and we'll just take something out the box. Oh, I'm so excited. But nonetheless, we'll start with today's episode and see what's in store for us. I don't understand. Where to go? Okay. So we'll start off. Let's do start with Google News Entertainment, and obviously we'll start with the first one there, which is Harry Belafonte, amazing singer, actor, activist. You probably know him from Banana Deo, famous Beetlejuice scene with Catherine O'Hara and Winona Ryder. Yeah, that's Moira from Schitt's Creek. It's crazy how when I think it was during like season 3, season 4 of Schitt's Creek, I saw a TikTok of someone that posted dumbfounded and shocked that they had just figured out that Catherine O'Hara starred in the Beetlejuice movie. Which, fine, I guess, person didn't know about it, so they ended up figuring it out. But yeah, I was watching it this morning after I saw the news that he had passed away. We're going to read a little bit about him because his life is extremely interesting. We'll do it from Yahoo Entertainment. So, again, reading off of yahoo.com, Harry Belafonte, Calypso King who worked for African American rights, dies at 96. Look at him. Happy man, making amazing music. So, singer, actor, producer... Wait, hold on. Sorry. This was written by Chris Morris, and it was published today. Because it happened today. So, singer, actor, producer, and activist Harry Belafonte, who spawned a calypso craze in the U.S. with his music and blazed new trails for African-American performers, died Tuesday of congestive heart failure at his Manhattan home. He was 96. An award-winning Broadway performer and a versatile recording and concert star of the 50s, the lithe, handsome Belafonte became one of the first black leading men in Hollywood. He later branched into production work on theatrical films and telepics. As his career stretched into the new millennium, his commitment to social causes never took a backseat to his professional work. An intimate of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Belafonte was an important voice in the 60s civil rights movement, and he later embarked on charitable activities on behalf of underdeveloped African nations. He was an outspoken opponent of South Africa's apartheid policies. Among the most honored performers of his era, Belafonte won 2 Grammy Awards, and the Recording Academy's Lifetime Achievement Award in 2000, a Tony, and an Emmy. He also received the Motion Picture Academy's Jean Harshult Humanitarian Award at the Governor's Awards ceremony in 2014. You guys don't know what South Africa's apartheid is, right? If you don't know, I'm going to read about it real quick. maybe we'll find a video that's non-copyright that could explain to us really quickly what South Africa's apartheid is. Okay. Hopefully we'll be able to see this one.
How did it start and how did it end?
No. We'll skip that part.
On April 27, 1994, Nelson Mandela cast his vote in the first free and democratic elections in South Africa, marking the official end to racial oppression and apartheid rule. Apartheid, a term we've heard before, but what exactly is it? The word itself stems from the South African dialect of Dutch Afrikaans and literally means apartness. But for millions in South Africa, it held a much darker reality.
I didn't even realize.
Policy of, what do you mean by
justify your present policy of racial segregation?
the policy of, what do you mean by intensify? Whether any further measures are to come, it's impossible for me to say at the moment. I do not know of any.
The policy governed South Africa for nearly 50 years, but racial segregation existed long before apartheid even began. In 1913, the government passed the Natives Land Act, limiting Black African land ownership to 7% and restricting them from buying or occupying land except as employees of a white master. More than 3 decades later, the practice of systematic racial segregation was given the name apartheid and was extended under the government led by the National Party. The party's goal was to separate South Africa's white minority from its non-white majority, in addition to separating non-whites from each other. They did this by putting in place hundreds of race laws touching every aspect of life, preventing equal opportunities for basic human rights to people of color, including dictating where they could live, work, go to school, all based on their race. Interracial relationships and marriages were illegal, and perhaps most importantly, non-whites did not have a right to vote.
All these laws after 1948 had one purpose in mind, and that was to ensure that the 4 million whites in South Africa had all the resources, the wealth, the jobs, the mines concentrated in their hands.
The Race Classification Act put people in 4 different categories. White at the top, followed by Indian, colored or of mixed descent, and black at the bottom. And within those groups were subgroups, further segregating ethnic and tribal groups. A number of pseudo-scientific tests were used to classify individuals suspected of not being European. For example, the pencil test. This involved putting a pencil in an individual's hair. If the pencil fell to the floor, they passed the test and were considered white. If it stayed put, they were considered colored.
Remember that we talked about how in my country, Dominican Republic, being that we had a dictator like Rafael Leonidas Trujillo, which is considered the worst dictator of this side of the earth, and to this day we still feel repercussions of everything he did in our country. One of the things that he did, he had a huge hate for Haitians, and in the it's called the Perejil massacre. There was a book written about it. It's called Over. It was a word test of sorts. So there's a word in Spanish. It's called perejil. It's really hard for the Haitian people to say the word specifically the way it's said in Spanish. So they would change the R for L, and if you got the name wrong, if you said it wrong, they would accuse you of not being Dominican, and yeah, they would. The whole point is that there was a whole massacre because of that. So yeah, you can only imagine what came afterwards. So this is not something that is extremely different than basically what a lot of other countries have gone through up until this point. And it sucks. It sucks a lot, but in order for us to not repeat history, what has to be talked about. We can't turn a blind eye to historical facts. Only through knowledge will human beings achieve different mindset, and we'll finally be able to take those steps towards enlightenment and peace and equality. But we can't achieve that if we're just oblivious to facts. And history is facts because it happened. And sometimes history is a little bit hard to swallow. But sometimes you just got to take that pill to be able to make yourself feel better. All right, let's finish watching this. Mind you, it does have that. I'm hesitant to continue watching it, but whatever. We're already halfway through, so might as well just finish it. I won't take the chill hop background music off, just because this already has like this music in the background, and I don't want the stream to be taken down because of copyright stuff. So.
Black South Africans were forced to carry identification at all times known as a passbook. Resistance to apartheid laws came in the form of mostly non-violent political protests. Together, freedom fighters like Nelson Mandela, Oliver Tambo, Walter Sisulu, and Ahmed Kathrada started to play an important role for both the African and Indian National Congress parties. In 1952, they began a defiance campaign calling on people to purposely break apartheid laws in order to get arrested. People of color got onto white buses, used white toilets, and entered white areas. Their hope was that the high number of prisoners would cause the system to collapse. But it did not. Thousands ended up in jail. And in 1953, the Public Safety Act and Criminal Law Amendment Act were passed to impose even more severe penalties for demonstrating against the law. On March 21, 1960, a protest against the use of passbooks turned violent in the black township of Sharpeville, when police opened fire on unarmed protesters, leaving nearly 70 dead and 180 wounded, including children. A state of emergency was declared nationwide, and opposition political parties, including the ANC, were banned, forcing many to move their fight underground.
There are many people who feel that it is useless and futile for us to continue talking peace and non-violence against a government whose reply is only savage attacks on an unarmed and defenseless people.
By 1964, most resistant leaders, including Mandela, were sentenced to life imprisonment following the infamous Rivonia trials, which drew international attention. Eventually, a tide of global pressures put the government in a difficult position.
The world was changing. The Soviet Union had collapsed, and that was a major movement. There was increased calls for the divestment of companies from South Africa. There was a global movement to boycott South Africa.
Coupled with unrest within the country and the continued armed struggle, negotiations began between the ANC and the National Party. Slowly, apartheid began to dismantle. In 1990, at the age of 71, Nelson Mandela was released from prison.
I stand here before you, not as a prophet, but as a humble servant of you, the people.
Elections were held 4 years later, with the ANC winning 62% of the vote and Nelson Mandela becoming president. The people of South Africa won their country back, and apartheid was abolished.
Never, never, and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another.
Crazy. Damn. That actually happened. The more you know. So, Harry was an outspoken opponent of South Africa's apartheid policies. So, I just want to put that out there because that's why we read about apartheid. So, let's see. Harold George Belafonte Jr. was born in New York, but was sent to live with his grandmother in Jamaica at age 5, returning to attend high school in New York. But Jamaica's indigenous calypso and mento would supply crucial material for his early musical repertoire. After serving in the war, Belafonte gravitated to the New York theatrical scene. An early mentor was the famed black actor, singer, and activist Paul Robeson. He studied acting with Erwin Piscator and attended Broadway shows. On a single ticket, he would hand off at intermission with another struggling young actor, Sidney Poitier. Like Poitier, he performed at Harlem's American Negro Theater. Belafonte first made his mark, however, as a nightclub singer. Initially working in a pop and jazz vein, Belafonte began his singing career at New York's Royal Roost and made his recording debut in 1949 on Roost Records. He soon developed a growing interest in American folk music. A national tour and dates at New York's Village Vanguard and Blue Angel followed. A scout for MGM spotted him at the latter venue and, following a screen test, Belafonte secured a role opposite Dorothy Dandridge in Bright Road, released in 1953. The same year, Belafonte made his Rialto debut in the revue John Murray Anderson's Almanac, for which he received the Tony for Best Performance by a featured actor in a musical. Ironically, while Belafonte was cast as a lead in Otto Preminger's 1954 musical Carmen Jones, based on Oscar Hammerstein II's Broadway adaptation of Bizet's opera Carmen, his singing voice was dubbed by opera singer Laverne Hutcherson. Belafonte would soon explode in his own right as a pop singer. He made his RCA Records debut in 1954 with Mark Twain and other folk favorites. He had performed the titular folk song with his guitarist Millard Thomas in his Tony-winning Broadway turn. The 1956 LP, Belafonte, featuring a similar folk repertoire, spent 6 weeks at number 1. Those collections were a mere warm-up to Calypso. What is Calypso, you may ask? You may be asking yourself, King Angel, are you going to let us know what Calypso is? Because I'm confused. I don't know what that is. Well, you're in luck. 'Cause that's exactly what I'm going to do. We're going to learn about what the hell Calypso is. Because it sounds... Calypso. It's... Okay. There is a Marvel character called Calypso. She's a voodoo priestess of Haitian descent. She was a psychopathic woman who was associated with Sergei Kravinoff, aka Kraven the Hunter. Hold on, let's see. Wait, what? For Sony's Kraven... Okay, Marvel villain Calypso cast for Sony's Kraven the Hunter movie. Huh. Well, there you go. Gonna make their debut in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, I don't even know what to tell you. But that's not what we... We're looking for Calypso music. So let's see. Well, we can't play anything, but I want to know the history of it. Well, you're not going to give it to me like that, so let's see. Maybe we can go into a website. I don't want to read off of Wikipedia. Let's see if there's something else that... Okay, so masterclass. Hopefully this isn't behind like a paywall or something. I'm not interested. Okay, so this is masterclass.com. It is a Calypso Music Guide, a brief history of Calypso music. This is a 3-minute read. Nice. Okay, so this was written by Masterclass, and it was last updated June 7th of 2021. So it says, the Caribbean islands have produced some of the most popular and influential world music, including Calypso, a genre of Caribbean music from the island of Trinidad. So what is Calypso music? Calypso is an Afro-Caribbean music genre that began in the nation of Trinidad and Tobago and spread throughout the West Indies. A close relative of West African Calypso, Calypso music is an upbeat genre based on call and response singing and a syncopated 2/4 beat known as the Calypso rhythm. Calypso has spawned many subgenres, including soca music, mento, bena, spooge, ska, really? Chutney, and extempo. A central figure in these styles is a griot, a lead singer who functions as a sage and a storyteller. Today's griots frequently sing in English, documenting the travails of daily life and advocating for righteous justice. So, a brief history of Calypso music. It first emerged in the 18th century in Trinidad among communities of African slaves. The musical style was an evolution of West African Gaiso, and the satirical lyrics often mocked slave masters through double entendre. Over time, Calypso evolved from a combination of French, English, Spanish, and African influences. The French brought the tradition of carnival, or carnival, to the islands, and when Trinidad and Tobago abolished slavery in 1834, former slaves became stars of the carnival, putting on calypso performances in dedicated calypso tents. The first documented calypso music recording dates back to 1912, when Love's string band cut a recording while visiting New York City. Early 20th century stars of the genre included Julian Whiterose, aka the Iron Duke, Roaring Lion, Attila the Hun, and Lord Invader, whose song Rum and Coca-Cola was famously covered in the United States by the Andrews Sister, in a version falsely attributed to the American songwriter Maury Amsterdam. The most enduring stars of the genre rose to prominence in the 1950s, including Lord Kitchener and Mighty Sparrow. Dude, these names are just like on point. Love them. Lord Invader, what? Mighty Sparrow. So the four characteristics of Calypso music. Like many forms of Caribbean music, Calypso merges the rhythmic traditions of West Africa with the harmonic language of Spain, France, England, and other European nations. Other key elements of Calypso include folk origins. So many popular Calypso hits are interpretations of Trinidadian folk songs. Number 2, English and French Creole lyrics. Originally, Calypso singers sang in French Creole, specifically Antillean Creole. But as English became the dominant language of Trinidad and Tobago, most Calypso lyrics migrated to the new tongue. Number 3, lead vocals sung by a griot, which is what we mentioned before. And a griot is a lead singer who functions as a storyteller, sage, poet, and historian wrapped into one. Many early Calypso songs featured folkloric stories told by a griot, with call and response singing between them and other Calypsonians. Calypsonians, wow, that's awesome. Number 4, frequent use of steel pan. The steel pan or steel drum is idiomatic to Calypso. Steel bands made up of multiple steel pan players are common in Trinidad and Tobago. So what does Calypso music sound like? It has a distinctive syncopated 2/4 or 4/4 rhythm. Common Calypso instruments include a drum set, Latin percussion, such as bongos, congas, and timbales, bass guitar, acoustic or electric guitars, trumpets, trombones, saxophones, and multiple vocalists. Steel pan is also a common instrument in a Calypso band. And here are a whole bunch of notable Calypso musicians if you guys want to check them out. Lord Invader, Lord Kitchener, Harry Belafonte, Growling Tiger, and Calypso Rose. Interesting. So, in Harry Belafonte's 1956 album, it sparked a nationwide Calypso craze. It spent a staggering 31 weeks at number 1 and remains one of the 4 longest running chart toppers in history. It spawns Belafonte's signature song, Banana Boat Song, Deo, which is obviously the song that was used in Beetlejuice. Too bad we can't play it, but that would have been awesome to see. Again, it's Catherine O'Hara, Winona Ryder. I mean, Winona Ryder doesn't do the dance, but I was thinking this morning, how interesting would it have been to have seen like a rehearsal of them like learning the dance and doing it before they actually shot the scene. Like I tried looking for it on YouTube because a lot of people post bloopers and deleted scenes on YouTube and whatnot, but no, it doesn't exist. That would have been so awesome to see. Just them sitting around a table practicing the dance. They're probably just laughing their asses off there because the dance in and of itself is memorable, but their attitudes towards it's hilarious. Man, that would have been so awesome. Like I said, it spawned Belafonte's signature hit, Banana Boat Day-O, which topped the singles chart for 5 weeks. A parody of the ubiquitous number of Stan Freberg reached number 25 in 1957. Director Tim Burton employed the tune to bright effect in his 1988 comedy Beetlejuice. And he also used that another song as well, which is a song that's used at the end of the movie. I want to read a little bit more about his activism. Okay, so in 1985, Belafonte's activism and musicianship intertwined when he helped organize the recording session for We Are the World, the all-star benefit single devoted to alleviating African famine. His appearance on that huge hit led to Paradise in Gazankulu, released in 1988, his first studio recording in more than 10 years. Okay, so his latter-day production work included the 1984 hip-hop drama Beach Street and the 2000 miniseries Party in the Waters, based on historian Taylor Branch's biography of Martin Luther King Jr. In 2002, The Long Road to Freedom, an anthology of black music, an immense collection of African and African-American music recorded and compiled by Belafonte over the course of a decade, and originally set for release by RCA in the 70s, was finally released as a 5-CD set on Universal's Buddha imprint. It garnered 3 Grammy nominations. Let's see, so in later years, Belafonte remained as outspoken as ever, and his views sometimes courted controversy. He was a foe of South African apartheid, which we just learned about. We learned what it was. Opposed the US's Cuban embargo, and denounced George W. Bush's military incursion into Iraq. Okay, he was accorded the Kennedy Center Honor in 1989 and the National Medal of the Arts in 1994. Wow. Long live Jaime Belafonte. I don't care about that. Also don't care about, although, good for you, Daniel Radcliffe, I guess. Let's see. In Succession's world, I actually want to start watching this show, Succession. But I don't understand, why is he on? What is this about? I don't get it. Why is? You know what? I haven't seen the show, so. Oh, nice. Dude, representation matters. CNN.com. This was written by Parija Cavalans, and it was published today, April 25th, 2023. So Mattel introduces first Barbie doll representing a person with Down syndrome. Nice. So Mattel on Tuesday introduced its first ever version of the Barbie doll representing a person with Down syndrome. Hey, listen. Representation matters. 100%. Previous Barbie fashionistas have included a doll with a prosthetic leg, one with hearing aids, another that comes with a wheelchair, and a doll with a skin condition, vitiligo, which causes patches of skin to lose their pigment. For the newest Barbie fashionista, Mattel said it closely worked with the National Down Syndrome Society on the doll's shape, features, clothing, accessory, and packaging to ensure that it accurately represents a person with Down syndrome. The genetic condition affects cognitive ability, causing mild to severe learning disabilities and distinctive facial characteristics. Good on them. Good on them. That's wonderful. especially the fact that they worked closely with the National Down Syndrome Society, which means that they were able to get actual people that have actual information, data, and facts to be able to guide them into how to best represent individuals that have Down syndrome. That's just like, dude, if you see it from the point of view of a business, they're going to be raking in cash. That's the whole point. Isn't that like the whole thing about capitalism, that, you know, raking in cash and hey, get out of here, CNN. So like the whole point is that you're trying to make money. Like, isn't that it? All in all, I mean, if you really think about it, besides like Mattel and Barbie and whatnot, I mean, companies don't really give a shit about any of this crap. Like, it's the real, it's all about profits. It's the reality of it. You can't lie to yourself like that, because just lying just makes everything a lot more difficult for you. A lot of these companies, or the majority of them, they don't really give a shit about anything that has to do with things that have to, like, with problems that happen to people on a day-to-day basis. It's about profit. This is another path for them to achieve profit. And to be honest with you, hell, you know what? If it includes representation and it makes someone feel it adds to someone's life and it's a positive, bro, sell the shit out of it.
Thank you. You're fuck too kind.
So, oops, dang it, I closed this thing. My bad. Sorry, I'm just reopening Twitch chat real quick. I had to close it. Sorry about that. As I was saying, scammers come in, banning them automatically. No time for that crap. So, sorry about that. Again, dude, representation matters, and they're gonna make more money like this. That's the name of the game. It's just you're again, you're a fool if you think that companies they don't give a shit about any of that. It's about money. So whatever. If that's the game that's gonna be played, then so be it. Whatever. So it said this means so much for our community, who for the first time can play with a Barbie doll that looks like them. Candy Picard, NDSS president and CEO, said in a statement. This Barbie serves as a reminder that we should never underestimate the power of representation. It is a huge step forward for inclusion and a moment that we are celebrating. Mattel recently has embraced a more inclusive approach to its 64-year-old iconic Barbie brand, but the company has long faced criticism for giving girls a role model of a female body with unrealistic proportions. For decades after its debut in 1959, Barbie dolls continue to be light-skinned, white, slender, blonde, with a very narrow waist, ample bosom, and always teetering on impossibly high heels. Finally, in 2016, as it faced softening sales of the doll, Mattel crafted Barbie into a more realistic depiction by making the newer dolls more inclusive and diverse in their appearance. Barbie was reintroduced in 4 body types and 7 skin tones, with 22 eye colors and 24 hairstyles. Her evolution continues with Barbie Fashionistas, which came 3 years later. The newest fashionista doll, which Mattel said was reviewed by a medical professional, introduces a new face and body sculpt illustrative of women with Down syndrome, including a shorter frame and a longer torso. The face features a rounder shape, smaller ears, a flat nasal bridge, while the eyes are slightly slanted in an almond shape. Its palms include a single line, a characteristic often associated with those with Down syndrome, according to Mattel. I didn't know that. The new Barbie wears a pink ankle foot orthotics to match her dress, and her sneakers feature a zipper to represent children with Down syndrome, some of whom use orthotics to support their feet and ankles. The more you know. Because I sure as hell did not know that at all. I don't know, sometimes there are certain topics that I beat myself up because I don't know enough about it. And I feel like I should. And I don't know, I think that this is so important to know. Like, I don't know, I should know facts about, like, Down syndrome like that, because it's just important to know these things. Wow, it took reading an article about a Barbie doll for them to drop some knowledge about the Down syndrome community. I didn't know that. I didn't know that those were things that were associated with. Okay, so Mattel said the new Barbie's puff-sleeved dress pattern features butterflies in yellow and blue colors, which are symbols and colors associated with Down syndrome awareness. At the doll's pink pendant necklace with 3 upward chevrons, a symbol that unites the Down syndrome community, represents the 3 copies of the 21st chromosome, which is the genetic material that causes the characteristics associated with Down syndrome. That I knew. Our goal is to enable all children to see themselves in Barbie, while also encouraging children to play with dolls who do not look like themselves. Lisa McKnight, Mattel's executive vice president and global head of Barbie and dolls, said in a statement. McKnight said Mattel's goal with the doll is to counter social stigma through play. Doll play outside of a child's own lived experience can teach understanding and build a greater sense of empathy. We are proud to introduce a Barbie doll with Down syndrome to better reflect the world around us and further our commitment to celebrating inclusion through play, she said. Awesome. No, round of applause for them. That's pretty cool. Let me see if this was featured in. Did I not save it? Okay, I guess not. Okay. I mean, we just might as well. I say, to send light into the darkness of men's hearts, such is the duty of the artist. Robert Schumann. Okay, we'll start off with this article. It says, after spending life at Roadside Zoo, chimps share emotional hug in new sanctuary home. Is there a video? Oh, there's a video. There's a video. Oh, dude, look at that. I'll try to make it a little bigger for you guys. Dude, they're hugging. Aww. Friendship. People insist on putting... It's fucking copyrighted music into like videos and shit. I don't get it. I would love to know what you're talking about, but it doesn't really have any CC, so it's just the music. Okay, so what is it? What are we talking about here? Okay, so 4 chimpanzees rescued from a roadside zoo were seen sharing a lovely embrace as they set foot in a brand new sanctuary. Found in Ohio at a zoo called the Union Ridge Wildlife Center, they were kept indoors by an exotic animal keeper whose facilities were subject to repeated complaints on animal welfare and who was recently sentenced to prison time. I'm glad it was sentenced to prison time. The Ohio Department of Agriculture ordered the custody of the 4 chimps, named April, Anna, Cash, and Lucy, to be transferred to Florida's Save the Chimps Sanctuary in Fort Pierce, Florida. Footage shows the 4 chimps joyously coming together with hugs and grooming sessions in the quarantine area, where they will remain in quarantine for 2 months before integrating into one of the sanctuary's 12 chimp islands that in total span 150 acres. How rude of me to have began reading the article and I didn't even tell you who it was written by. I'm reading off of goodnewsnetwork.org, and this article was written by Andy Corbley, and it was published today, April 25th, 2023. So, these are extremely intelligent chimpanzees who deserve the chance to explore a larger world, said Save the Chimps Director of Chimpanzee Behavior and Care, Dr. Andrew Halloran. The very sweet chimps range in age from 13 to 26 and are adjusting well to their new surroundings, the sanctuary said. We look forward to seeing them thrive on a vast island habitat with 15 to 20 new lifelong companions, with the freedom to choose where they want to be and who they want to be with, said Halloran. Dude, that's so awesome. I mean, having them indoors like that and under those conditions should definitely land you some time in jail, like ASAP. Okay, we move on to the next one. This one seems interesting. Also written by Andy Corbley, published today. This one says, I'll put a little up so you can see. Dude, mom wins lottery with ticket she bought celebrating daughter's victory over cancer. Let's go. Is there a video? Do we get a video? Watch the story below from Good Morning America. I don't get it. Is it blocking it? No? Oh, boo-hoo. I don't know. I would have maybe wore like a full-blown like face mask or a huge mask that goes like that goes over my face and whatnot. Dude, anything, but yeah, no. I actually saw a TikTok of someone that was explaining that they were explaining the steps that you should take if you ever do win the lottery, and one of the things that they said was like you either have to try to not receive the payment in this manner, or if you do, like try to like wear like a full-blown mask or something that will keep family and friends from hounding you because they now know that you're worth, in this case, $2 million, which, I mean, more power to you because you won the money, but at the same time, money breeds jealousy, and it doesn't matter whether you're family or not, especially when it comes to this circumstance where you're winning a shit ton of money like that. Now, True Crime and Murder Mystery Wednesdays, we covered a case specifically, this was early on when I first started, of someone that won the lottery. He won $2 million just like this, and what was it, in the lapse of like a year and a half, 2 years, he didn't have any more money. And he ended up dead too, because there was someone that ended up playing him and transferred all of his funds and all of his property to her name, and then just ended up whacking him. So, yeah. And on top of that, there are like just horror stories about people that have won the lottery and things that they have gone through. A lot of them end up like broke. A lot of them don't. I actually know people that have been very successful after winning the lottery and are still successful to this day. But obviously there's a great chunk of people that win the lottery on a normal circumstance, and yeah, dude, like, there's that lottery curse. It's crazy, and that's seeing it like from the flip side of the perspective of the negatives that come with winning the lottery, because it's not only like positives, stemming from the fact that she took this picture, but she's not covering her face or anything. It's crazy, dude. Yeah, family and friends will hound you. Oh yeah, let's see. Let me see if I can find something really quickly. Okay, let's see. There should be some. Curse of the lottery. Let me see, maybe this one doesn't have.
No doubt you've all had the conversation with your friends about what you do if you won the lottery, or how much you'd give away to family and friends. How many problems might that cause? Or would you just spend and live a life of selfish luxury? According to CNN Money, the biggest lottery win ever was $1.586 billion. But
This is 2018, so it's pretty old, but I'm not gonna leave it because it has that background music. Dang it. Would have been so great to see this.
News is reporting at least one Mega Millions ticket was sold with all 6 of these numbers. News anchor Masa Saidi has why experts say not winning the lottery could actually be a blessing in disguise.
A big smile and a big check. They're considered the lucky ones.
I can take this much money and do a lot of good with this much money right now.
Tonight, as many of you may be dealing with a mega loss, we're asking, should you possibly be happy you didn't win? Jack Whitaker took home millions in 2002 before losing most of it to thieves, drugs, and gambling.
My wife had said she wished that she'd torn the ticket up.
People have this belief that when they receive a large amount of money, all of a sudden all their problems are going to be gone.
But therapist Sasha DeCania says quite often money complicates everything. For example, if you've had a substance abuse problem in the past, now you have endless means. And as family, friends, and co-workers start turning to you for cash, you may feel stress, anxiety, and eventually isolation.
Most people have a hard time saying no to the people that they care about.
The word that you're going to have to learn the quickest and use it the most is the word no.
Sound advice from financial analyst Steve Buden. If you plan on playing again and you hit the jackpot,
Cancel your cell bill, get a new number so nobody can get a hold of you. I can't emphasize enough the importance of getting a good team around you. A good attorney, a good accountant, and a good financial advisor.
and maybe your own personal security. You could end up losing more than just your winnings.
Are you a murderer? No.
A jury found Dee Dee Moore befriended, swindled.
That's the case. The case of Dee Dee Moore. She made friendship with a guy that I mentioned won the lottery. He won like $2 million and he was broke in like less than 2 years. She had a lot to do with it. Obviously, she ended up killing him. I was like the whole thing of the. Sorry. Ooh. Hit that pen too hard. Woo! Ooh-wee. Okay. So Dee Dee Moore She whacked him, like I said before. In less than 2 years, $2 million. That's crazy to me.
And then killed lottery winner Abraham Shakespeare.
Yeah, Abraham.
The money was like a curse to him. And now it's become a curse to me.
A curse or a blessing? You'll at least have to wait until the next drawing Friday to find out. Masa Saidi, 13 Action.
I mean, it's not to say that winning the lottery wouldn't like resolve people's issues, obviously, but I'm intrigued by this one. All right, this is abc15.com. This is the curse of the lottery, the tragic stories of big jackpot winners, and we're seeing this. Well, because this was posted April 5th, 2021, and it was I guess written by ABC15. Doesn't have the name of anyone here. Yeah, no name. So oh, dang. I closed it. Oops. What was it? Okay, we'll try this one. Here's How Winning the Lottery Makes You Miserable. I'm reading off of Time.com by Melissa Chan, published January 12, 2016. I couldn't put the other one because it just had some issues in it. Had that music and whatnot. So we'll give this one a shot.
Unless you've been living under a rock, you're probably aware that the Powerball jackpot has ballooned to a whopping $1.5 billion, the largest lottery prize in world history.
Also has that crappy background music to it. Let's see. We'll look for another one. Dang, this would have been such a great video to see. The why winning the lottery is the worst thing, but let's see. Dude, my cat is going ham outside. I don't know if you guys can hear him, but dude, so my man is like going crazy out there. Let's see.
We can all think of millions of ways that all of our problems, right? And help us just sail into the sunset, into a posh life. But there are a lot of jackpot winners who would actually say the exact opposite.
Yeah, winning the lottery set them up for failure, bankruptcy, damaged relationships, even death. Team 12's Jen Wall shared some of their stories.
An exclusive society, one most of us think we want to be a part of. But these once self-proclaimed lucky winners call it a curse. Starting with Jack Whitaker of West Virginia, he won close to $315 million playing the Powerball since 2002.
Dude, let's go.
His 17-year-old granddaughter was found dead. He also had a couple run-ins with the law.
Holy shit.
Jeffrey Dampierre won $20 million in 1996. Then in 2005, he...
Damn, $20 million in 1996, bruh. That's a lot of money for that time. Holy shit.
Was kidnapped and murdered.
Oh, damn. See? It's that lottery curse.
Detectives say the suspects were found with a lot of cash on them. And William Bud Post, winning about $16 million in the late 80s, then someone close to him hired a hitman to try to kill him.
Damn.
So how does this happen?
Most of them.
What do you mean, how does this happen? Money breeds jealousy. That's like the whole point. Excessive amounts of money like that. People feel entitled to that newfound money that you just have. $20 million, dude. That's a lot of money. Even here, like even now, that maybe with inflation and shit, things are a whole lot more expensive. It's still a lot of money now. Imagine back in 1996, $20 million. That's a lot of money, bro. To just think about it. I mean, wow.
Bring that trouble onto themselves.
Says two-time Valley jackpot winners Carrie and Diane, they've managed not to squander their prize.
Instead of making a $10 mistake, you're now making a $10 million mistake. Nobody notices a $10 mistake, but the whole world is going to notice a $10 million mistake.
They've won the Powerball once and another lottery a second time. Total winnings more than $3 million.
Resist the urge to splurge.
But not
The urge to splurge. I love it, dude. The urge to splurge. I mean, if you have like $10 million, bro, come on now. $20 million like that, yeah, dude. That's a lot of money. JG. My goodness. I don't understand. What is it? Like, what's the obsession? Alright, let's see if we can watch this one. Hopefully this one doesn't have any music. But I have a feeling that it does. Okay, let's brace ourselves.
Generally, it is believed that winning a lottery is a chance to change one's life. The lucky people who win think it is an answer to their prayers and will be the solution to all of their problems. But even after being blessed enough to get their hands on such great fortunes, some lottery winners lose it all very quickly. There is even a particular term for this phenomenon, lottery. Volkswagen bought a $2 lotto ticket that made him an instant millionaire in 2011. He won a $10 million jackpot, but blew it in just a few short years.
Woo.
He bought a house that doubled as a nightly party spot, hosting his ever-growing legion of hangers-on.
Let's go.
He also blew the cash on cars, partying, and gifts, while
Dang. I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. That sounds like a... I'm not even gonna lie, dude. That kind of sounds like a pretty interesting way to spend your money. That man lived that YOLO life to the fullest. $10 million, yeah. I could see someone spending all that money making a house and whatnot. I'm not gonna leave this video because it has like that fucking background music shit. It's just all the videos. Like, I don't understand. Like, how do you even upload the video on YouTube like that? I mean, you can, but. Okay, this is from courierjournal.com, written by Taylor M. Riley, published August 23, 2017, and it was updated on October 19th, 2018, and it says, the title is Winning the Mega Millions Jackpot. Sounds great, but this story is tragic. Let's see. Okay, so the odds of winning the lottery are slim at best, but if luck strikes, before you start spending all those Benjamins, you should know about these 4 things you really shouldn't do. Now, what are you gonna say? Do not brag about winning the lottery. Hey, I mean, ergo, don't take those pictures. If you tell everyone you know, you could become a target of theft or even murder. Stay anonymous for as long as possible. Do not let your debt remain in place. If you suddenly become filthy rich, get rid of your old financial obligations and debts immediately. I don't care. I don't care because there's a small chance that I'll be winning this lottery through and through, so I don't really give a shit about that. I want to know about what happened to this couple. So, is there a lottery curse? Before you buy that ticket, remember the tragic story of one Kentuckian who won the jackpot. David Lee Edwards from Ashland won $27 million in 2001. Wow. Holy shit, he lost it all by 2006. The Courier Journal spoke to Edwards right after his win, saying it was a poor man's dream. So this is him in the picture. I don't know if you can see it very well. It's him and his girlfriend, Shauna Maddox. I've made mistakes in my past, and that's been a long time ago. I've paid for those mistakes, and I went on with my life, and I straightened my life out, and I've been productive since then, Edwards said. I am what I am today, and I thank God for that. I can't go back and change my past, but I can do something positive with my future. Okay. Ooh, these are a few other stories. We'll open that in another tab. But things didn't go well. After he won the jackpot, Edwards and his wife spent the earnings on a mansion, dozens of expensive cars, and a jet. They spent until the money ran out and left them both living in a storage unit after 5 years, according to the Broward Palm Beach New Times. Edwards bought a $1.6 million house in a private tennis and golf community in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, and spent another $600,000 on another home. He also bought a $1.9 million Learjet, 3 losing racehorses, and 2 businesses worth $4.5 million. What was the total again? $27 million. Okay, so let's see. 1.6, 1.9. I mean, he still should have had a lot more money, but he collected cars, including a $200,000 Lamborghini Diablo, and at one point, the Daily Mail reports he had $1 million in vehicles parked in front of his house. In his first 3 months as a millionaire, he spent $3 million, and after 1 year, he had spent $12 million. What? Hold on. In his first 3 months as a millionaire, he spent $3 million, and after 1 year, he had spent $12 million, reported the New Times. Wow. Holy shit. That is insanity. He had lost every bit by 2006. Ugh, bruh. That is insane. He spent $3 million. He spent $1 million per month. Oh my goodness. Dude, he spent what? That's, I mean, is that not insane to you? Dude, let me know in chat. Is that not insane to you? Because this is fucking crazy to me. Like, this, like, wow. He spent $3 million. And after 1 year, he had spent $12 million. Edwards and his wife contracted hepatitis from their needle drug use, and both were arrested multiple times for possession of crack cocaine, pills, and heroin, according to the Broward Palm Beach New Times. Edwards died alone and penniless in hospice care at the age of 58 in 2013, just 12 years after the lottery changed his life, reported the Daily Mail. His family and friends say this story is a prime example of the influence of money. By the time he died, he lost every penny of his fortune and owed thousands of dollars to friends. Tragic. Wow. Okay, so this is the same website, Courier Journal. Let's see what this says. Okay, it's the same video. So, it was also written by Taylor M. Riley, published August 23rd, 2017. It's you won't want to win Mega Millions after reading these horror stories. Yikes. Okay. The curse is real. Many winners like these have met tragic ends. Ooh, let's see if I can make... Maybe I can have it speak.
1. Jack Whitaker. He was already a millionaire when he won the $315 million lottery in West Virginia in 2002, according to Time. The then 55-year-old construction company president claimed he went broke 4 years later. His granddaughter and daughter died soon after from drug overdoses, and he was robbed of $545,000 sitting in his car while he was at a strip club too. Abraham Shakespeare. He won $30 million in a 2009 Florida lottery and was murdered soon after. The 47-year-old was shot twice in the chest and then buried under a slab of concrete in a backyard, according to ABC News. D.D. Moore, who befriended him after his lottery win, was found guilty of first-degree murder in 2012. 3. Ronnie Music Jr. This Georgia man was sentenced to serve 21 years in prison in April 2017 after he invested part of his $3 million lottery winnings in a crystal meth ring, according to CBS News 4. Yuruj Khan. This Illinois man died in 2012. Just 1 day after collecting the lump sum on a $1 million win. It was originally found by a medical examiner that Khan died of natural causes, but another official found later that the winner was fatally poisoned with cyanide, according to CBS News 5. Jeffrey Dampier. He won $20 million in the Illinois lottery in 1996 and used the winnings to help his family, according to Bustle. But his sister-in-law Victoria, along with her boyfriend, kidnapped Dampier and shot him in the head. The two are serving life sentences for the murder. 6. William Post. Post won $16.2 million in the Pennsylvania lottery in 1988. Soon after, his landlady sued him, claiming he had agreed to give part of the winnings. According to the Washington Post, she was awarded $5.2 million in 1992. Post had 6 failed marriages and was eventually convicted and sentenced to prison for firing a gun at a debt collector. He died of respiratory failure in 2006. Thinking twice about buying that winning ticket? Us, too.
Us, too. Thank you. Oh. Something new unlocked. Whenever I feel like not reading something completely, boom, I'm going to have the computer read it for us. I do want to check on this. Abraham Shakespeare was the one that we mentioned before, but the D.D. Moore. But okay, hold on. I want to read about this person, Ronnie Music Jr. So the person that invested part of his $3 million lottery winnings in a crystal meth ring. Yeah, this sounds interesting. All right, we're reading off of Jacksonville.com. I have so many friends that are from Jacksonville. There's this really funny scene in Ash versus Evil Dead, and it's when he describes because he's from Jacksonville and he describes like Jacksonville and shit, and it's so funny because you think that he says that he's taking a vacation, but he wants to go back to Jacksonville, and he makes it seem like it's like a magical place. Which, hey man, truth be told, it could well be. I've been there a few times, but a lot of people that I know, it's crazy they're from Jacksonville. Because with Jacksonville.com, title is $3 million lottery winner gets 21 years in prison for financing meth trafficking. Look at his face. This was written by Terry Dixon, and it was published April 3rd, 2017. So this is Brunswick, Georgia. Ronnie Music Jr., a Waycross man who sank part of $3 million in lottery winnings into methamphetamine trafficking, will spend the next 21 years in prison on drug conspiracy and firearms charges. The 46-year-old's Music admitted his involvement in multi-state drug trafficking, including a ring being run from a Georgia prison that he fronted with lottery winnings. He also pleaded guilty to being a convicted felon in possession of firearms. Music won $3 million in 2015 on a scratch-off ticket in the Georgia lottery. You got a windfall that few in this world would ever get, Chief U.S. District Judge Lisa Godby Wood said before sentencing Music. Nobody has ever blown lottery winnings in a more dangerous and destructive way than you did. I don't know about that. I don't know about that though, because I mean, even though a lot of some of the ones that we read were not involved in like obviously financing a methamphetamine drug ring, a lot of them did some heavy drugs, and a lot of their money was consumed by purchasing said drugs for said parties that they would have, which I can only imagine. Wow. The government agreed to ask Wood to impose a sentence lighter than that called for under federal advisory guidelines. The guidelines called for a sentence of 27 years to 33 years and 9 months. Music provided information agents used against Daniel Allo, 46, who was running a methamphetamine ring from a Calhoun state prison where he was serving a life sentence for murder. Damn. During a hearing in federal court in Waycross, the government said conspirators on the outside used drones to drop cell phones into the prison yard, and that those inside used them to direct drug trafficking. What? They used green dot financial cards to transfer money and pay suppliers and dealers. Alo pleaded guilty before Wood January 22nd and is awaiting sentencing. Assistant U.S. Attorney Greg Gillily Jr. said a corruption investigation at Calhoun State Prison was already underway before Music made his first statement to federal agents. Allo was done, Gillily said. Music corroborated what we already knew. Allo was one of 15 people arrested, some in the Waycross area, for distributing methamphetamine. All have since pleaded guilty, and Music's cooperation likely figured into those pleas and a quick wrap-up of the case, Jaluli said. His willingness to testify may have resulted in others jumping on board and being willing to testify, he told Wood. Music's lawyer, Ronald Harrison of Brunswick, tried to downplay Music's participation. I think at worst, he's a wholesaler, Harrison told Wood in asking her to trim years off his sentence. He came in early. He was thorough. He was truthful, Harrison said. It was a risk to him. It was a risk to his family. I don't know, it kind of seems like he ratted out on someone else to try to get his sentence reduced, which seems like it worked. But I know he's still doing that time. At the end of the day, I mean, he still financed a methamphetamine ring, so you can trim some years off of it, I guess, but the snitching, I guess, worked to a certain extent only. He says that Harrison said he was also amazed Music and his associates, whom he called the Apple Dumpling Gang, ever reached the level they did. You wouldn't take them to be methamphetamine dealers and users, he said, They're just regular guys. Listen, if you watched Weeds, that should have already shown you that anyone could be a drug dealer. Shit, Breaking Bad could basically state the same thing. You don't know. Anyone could be a drug dealer. Shit, anyone could run a ring of methamphetamine and fentanyl and all this shit. The fuck? What do you know? I mean, have you seen the picture of the person that worked for the police department here in San Jose, California? That was it's like a week or two ago. That was caught. She was a huge fentanyl trafficker. And she would purchase drugs like from the internet and shit. Dude, check this out. If you have seen this case, then you know. If you haven't, you're about to find out. Okay, so this was, there we go. Where's the picture? Well, I guess most likely we'll see it now. Okay, so we're gonna. This is from ABC7news.com. Wait, hold on. It was written by Zach Fuentes, published March 30th, 2023, and it reads: San Jose Police Union exec charged with attempt to import, sell valeryl fentanyl, officials say. They're going to show the picture of her. Watch this.
Became saddened, and as the days have gone by, I'm at a place where I'm angry.
Sean Pritchard, president of the San Jose Police Officers Association, says he first got a call from federal authorities last Friday that Joanne Segovia, the union's executive director, was charged with attempting to import illegal synthetic opioid drugs from overseas, specifically a form of fentanyl. Federal prosecutors say it was part of a scheme to distribute in the U.S. Pritchard says Segovia had been with the union for nearly 20 years.
A woman who has helped officers' families, helped organize fundraisers when officers.
And she was ordering that shit from the computer.
Segovia used her personal and office computers to order the drugs and agreed to distribute them
I'm not lying.
in the U.S. The Police Officers Association says they had no knowledge of it and are conducting an internal investigation. The union says Segovia handled desk operations but did not make decisions for the organization. They still don't know what her exact intentions were with the drugs.
To sell them, to make money, to distribute the drugs and earn some cash, make it rain. She's trying to make it rain on her family. Again, if Weeds, the TV show, taught me anything, is that anyone could be a drug dealer. Anyone. The person that you least expect could be slinging bags of anything, and you would never know unless you actually like see them like selling drugs or some shit like that, whatever the case may be, or you buy from them or whatnot. But yeah, you don't fucking know. Truthfully, like, and I'll be like 100% honest with you, bro, I'd be the worst. That's why I never really at all, I never even tried it at all. I'd be the worst. Probably the worst drug dealer in the world. Like, the worst. No one would want to do business with me because I'd be horrible at it. I'd be paranoid about just being in like random places, but hell no, dude. It takes a different type of mentality to be able to deal with something like that. But taking it to this point, like, she used to buy these things using the internet that we pay for as taxpayers, because how are police like funded? That is crazy. I remember when this popped, it was Someone sent it to me, but they sent me the article has this picture of her.
According to this criminal complaint, Homeland Security
It has that picture.
Criminal decisions for the
That one.
organization, they still don't know what her exact intentions were with the drugs. According to this criminal complaint, Homeland Security agents were led to Segovia through an investigation that looked into a network they say ships controlled substances made in India. Investigators found that between October of 2015 and January 2023, Segovia allegedly had approximately 61 shipments mailed to her home, coming from countries all over the world. Some had labels like wedding party favors. Federal investigators intercepted those shipments and said they found thousands of narcotic pills. Santa Clara County Supervisor Cindy Chavez heads the county's fentanyl working group that works to combat the opioid crisis locally.
It's just a reminder of how accessible this is, and that we, from a law enforcement and a community perspective, need to be much more aggressive and much more assertive about how we deal with interrupting that chain.
We reached out to Segovia and have not heard back. The complaint states that she denied any illegal activity in initial interviews with investigators and then later tried to blame her housekeeper. She's due in court Friday at 1 p.m. If convicted, she faces a maximum sentence of 20 years. In San Jose, Zach Fuentes, ABC 7 News.
Damn, she tried to blame the housekeeper, bro. What? That is... Housekeeper's like, I don't have anything to do with this. What are you even talking about? No, that's on you, lady. Damn. Crazy. That's a lot of fentanyl, let me tell you. Just want to throw that out there. Like, that's a lot. So, and then just a reminder, she was ordering this shit using the computers and the internet that are at the police stations. Isn't that something? So yeah, anyone can be a drug dealer. So let's see. He also said music used alcohol, marijuana, cocaine, and eventually methamphetamine to deal with tragedy in his life. Galilu countered that music was very much a large-scale dealer who brought pounds and pounds of meth into the community. It's addictive. It destroys families. It destroys communities, he said. He also said music had ties to drug cartels, the Bloods gang, and white supremacists. That is not a ragtag gang of misfits, Jaluli said. Wow, that dude must be from another time. Well, that's not a ragtag gang of misfits. See? No, he's not just a drug dealer. He's dangerous. Although Harrison said music came in early, court documents show it wasn't at the first opportunity. Records show music seemed oblivious to any chances he would be arrested, even as he watched agents take down 2 of his co-conspirators. Music was arrested in October 2014 with 4 pounds of meth, $22,000 in cash, $5,000 of which an informer handed over earlier for a pound of meth, records show. That arrest came a month after some of his co-conspirators were caught trying to sell 11 pounds of methamphetamine that music supplied, the government has said. Wow, that's a... Holy shit. On parole from a previous conviction, music supplied more than 10 pounds of crystallized meth to Jesse Case for redistribution, the government said. On September 1st, 2015, local and federal agents arrested Case for attempting to sell that meth in Brunswick, but the arrest didn't stop music. Mr. Music observed the transaction and the bust, but did not stop his involvement, the government said in a court document. While free on bond, he was a fugitive from cases in Georgia and Tennessee, the government said. He was tracked to a Red Roof Inn in Tennessee and arrested with 14.4 grams of meth and some marijuana. Brought back to Brunswick, Music confessed and talked to agents for hours. Listen, as someone who only smokes weed, that's it. I don't drink alcohol. I don't do anything else that's not that. Bruh, sometimes I hear like about these things and it just like blows my mind. Like, holy crap. And there's like, wow, it's actually like there's people like that are extremely addicted to, I mean, it's not to say I'm addicted to coffee. So, and I was highly addicted to nicotine. So, I mean, again, everyone has like their own addiction. Some people just have like more intense ones than others, I guess. But and you can be addicted to anything. So it's just putting that out there. But it's just like the drug in and of itself. It's like it's crazy to me. Holy shit. So it says, for his part, Music took responsibility for his actions and apologized to the court and his family. Wood ordered Music to pay a $25,000 fine and to serve 5 years on probation, in addition to the vehicles and other cash he had already forfeited to the government. Wood also showed she knows something about children's movies. The Apple Dumpling Gang was children digging for gold, she said of the Disney film. You know what? That's my fault for reading it. That's, God, wow, that was so unnecessary. Like, I don't even know where that came from. I don't even know what they meant with that, but damn. 21 years in prison. It's crazy. Again, this all stems from this picture. The fact that the person is just taking the picture of her with that check in her hands for that amount of money, and that's a lot of money. It indeed is a lot of money. But overall, we saw the negative part, which is what they call like the lottery curse and whatnot. But let's read into the positive part, because this is on goodnewsnetwork.org. So let's see it from a positive perspective. So it says, after shelling out her life savings to pay for her daughter's breast cancer treatment, a Florida grandmother got a nod from the universe. Buying the last available scratch off from her preferred lottery game at the store, she landed a $2 million jackpot. Geraldine Gimblett of Lakeland was celebrating the moment that her daughter, Laurentia Jackson, rang a bell at the local hospital, signifying she had finished her breast cancer treatment. I'm gonna give y'all a little fun fact. A little fun fact about me. When I see those videos on TikTok, when they pop up on my For You page, ooh, the waterworks, bro. Especially when it's like when it's the kids that they bring the bell, bro. Warms my heart. Warms my heart. I said it before. Say it again if you're just watching me for the first time, which I appreciate very, very much. I appreciate you being here. Obviously, you can always join chat. Let me know what you think. Let me know how your day is going. But, you know, dang it. It's just, sometimes I just think, like, you know, again, how awesome it is that we have been able to create through, like, just, like, fucking knowledge and education, like, human advancements in technology, that you can see me real time and that we're hanging out and engaging and chatting and all, like, real time. Like, I love it. I just love it so much. The fact that you're spending your time here with me as well is just like, damn, it's so fucking awesome. I appreciate it very, very much. It means the world to me. I love this. I love what I do. I love being here. I love being in front of the camera. I love creating videos. I love uploading. I love how anxious the whole game can make people. I am not a very anxious person per se, but the streaming game and the content creation game, dude, it's tough and it's anxiety filled and stress filled, and it's just, there's just so many factors to it. But at the same time, I'm just so grateful to be even remotely part of it. Like, even in the smallest bit, even if right now I'm in the lowest of positions as I'm a small-time content creator, small-time live streamer, albeit I've been doing it for a year plus, but I don't know, just being in the game, I love it so much, and I love entertaining and being a beacon of just a good time, just wanting to hang out, wanting to engage. We learn together, we watch things together. It's it's just so beautiful. What a time to be alive. And I'm very grateful for it. Grateful to you as well for being here and spending some time with me. I just rambled on with that. I just wanted to get that out there because it's of extreme importance to me that you know that. And yeah, also know that you're very worthy of things. And everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be more than okay. You'll see. I mean, I'm telling you, it was pretty great for Geraldine Gimblett. I can tell you that much. So she's a long-time lottery player. She's 74. She spent $10 on the last scratch-off card at the store. And it happened to be a winner. I just didn't know, Gimblett told Good Morning America regarding her reaction. I was like, are you sure? Would you check this on your phone? And I won. Daughter Jackson, who accompanied Gimblett to the Tallahassee lottery offices to accept a lump sum of $1.6 million, described it as a blessing. I mean, mind you, the government took $400,000 from the whole amount. Just wanted to put that out there because you do have to pay taxes on it. So in that case, they took out of taxes, like I said before, $400,000 total, and she received a lump sum of $1.6 million, which she described as a blessing. Gimblett didn't hesitate to finance the cancer treatment, saying she just did what I had to do, with Jackson adding that she would just have to keep loving her, just as a means to try and repay the kindness. I mean, that's your mama. I'm pretty sure my mama would have done the same exact thing. So shout out to them and congrats on that win, because that's pretty awesome. And that's a lot of people's dream, to be able to, for a moment in time, be like exit having to have debt and being in a certain situation. I mean, albeit we just saw the lottery curses, so it's not all beautiful. Oh my goodness. You know I'm gonna click on this one. Bruh. We're reading off Good News Network. Yo, look at him. Yay. Chihuahua, slightly taller than a teacup, is named world's shortest dog. Also written by Andy Corbly. Published yesterday, April 24th, 2023. I mean, look at him. Oh my goodness. A 2-year-old Chihuahua named Pearl is officially the world's shortest dog, as confirmed by her vet and Guinness World Records. Pearl measures 3.59 inches, which is about 9.14 centimeters in height, meaning she's shorter than a popsicle stick. Please let there be a video. Please let there be a video. She has her head to thank for being longer than a dollar bill at 5 inches, which is about 12.7 centimeters. She comes from a lineage of tiny and relatively calm Chihuahuas, with her ancestor Miracle Millie being the previous Guinness World Record holder for shortest dog. Oh, it runs in the genes. We're blessed to have her, said Vanessa Selmler, Pearl's owner. And to have this unique opportunity to break our own record and share with the world, this is amazing news. A diva. Oh. So a diva at heart, Pearl is fond of high quality pet food, wearing accessories like glittering collars and sweaters, and listening to classical music. Bruh. As is customary for dogs, her height was measured with a measuring wicket, and was carried out from the bottom of the foot to the withers, which is a ridge between the shoulder blades present in all dogs. Pearl loves attention her short stature attracts, including from Vanessa's 3 other dogs, who are all quote-unquote normal sizes. They do have a video. Mind you, I'm a cat guy. I'm a cat person through and through. I mean, I love dogs, but I am a cat guy all the way. But, dude, whatever. We're gonna see it anyway because it's only 3 minutes long. Mike. Yeah, okay, so Pearl measures 9.14 centimeters, which is about 3.59 inches. Oh my goodness, she's the... Oh wow. It has the set. It has like the thing in the back. I'm not gonna leave the... Oh my goodness. Bruh. Look at him. Oh my goodness, that's Miracle Millie. It's just so small. You have to be careful when you walk because you could easily, like, oh my god, the certificate is bigger than the dog. Oh man, look at him. Oh wow, that's crazy. Oh my goodness. She must be carefully watched during her daily walks. That's too much of a responsibility. It's just too much. Look at him. Oh my goodness, dude. A little sweater on. I would take that dog in my pocket. Like, I'd wear a hoodie all the time and I just wear the dog in my pocket. Just have him like right there in the middle. Bam. Pouch him. Let's go. Look at him. Oh. Pearl's day starts at 7 a.m. with a short walk and the first of her 4 daily meals. Starbucks is one of her favorite places to visit on a walk because they give her treats. Ah, I see what you did there, Pearl. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Oh, look at him. Oh man, that is crazy. Dude, look at him. He's so small though. Like, it's way too much responsibility. You can't even, like, that dog, you have to have him in a certain place at night because you can't have this dog wandering around. Because if you're not like very like visually keen on where you're walking to, or you're like walking to the bathroom or some shit like that, dude, you could easily step on this dog. You could fucking kill him. That's crazy. Still a cutie. Although, albeit it's pretty small, but okay. Interesting. Okay. And one of the reasons why I'm opening the article is because I too have a box somewhere around here that's just like filled with old cell phones that I've just never thrown away. And I have like the first touchscreen phone I had there. Back home in DR, I had like all of the other ones that I had. So I had like flip phones there and whatnot, but obviously that's not there anymore. But it would be very cool to see what can be done with all these old appliances, because I know that malls have that machine, like vending machine type of thing that you put the phones in and it like gives you money and shit. I don't know if that actually works or not. Chad, if you've ever used it, let me know. I personally am oblivious to it, so I've never done it. I should, but it's good information that we're going to read now, still off of Good News Network. It's called Recycle Any Device for Free. Apple, Google, Staples, Walmart, Best Buy are e-cycling heroes, even paying for shipping. This was written by Good News Network. It was published April 22nd, 2023. With this guy there, with this really intense Jim Carrey face. Oh wow. Do we have a video? Do we have a video? No video. But maybe if we do this and we look for this part, okay, Apple. Okay. So easier for you. This is apple.com, and I'm reading Apple because all my appliances are Apple. I don't have, well, there's like 2 cell phones there that are probably like HTC or some shit like that, but the majority of the time I've just used like Apple products. So for you Apple users out there, this is pretty great information. I mean, I don't know if you knew about it. Again, let me know in chat if you did. If you don't, then this is great information, especially if you have like old iPhones and shit at home. Like I have a laptop here that I won't obviously give away because it means it has a sentimental value, but I have like the last black book that they did, like the black MacBook, the small one, 13-inch black, like a matte. Oh dude, it was so beautiful, dude. It was the highest one from all of the other ones, because the ones that came that were like underneath that black book were all like the white versions and whatnot, but the black one was the one that had like the best features and shit. Dude, people used to hate me because I had that computer. Hell yeah, I used to show that shit off. Let's go. Whatever. Nonetheless, now we know, fellow Apple users, that there is a way for us to recycle old products. So it says, you may be done with your devices, but chances are they still have more to give. We make it easy to recycle them for free, so you can protect the Earth's resources and help us get closer to making every product with only recycled and renewable materials. Now, obviously, when I do like switches to my phone and whatnot, I do it through like Verizon and shit, and they take the old phone and change it for the new phone and whatnot. Blah, blah. But if you have like those old ones there, this is what they're referring to. Also, I mean, if you can do it with laptops as well. I mean, if you go with your laptop, you do exchanges and you just have to pay the difference and whatnot. You can do that as well. But again, it's focused more, I'm guessing, on okay, so I guess their only way of recycling is by trading in. I don't understand. So how is this? So how do you do? Okay, so this is store.google.com. Your old device has so much left to give. Our recycling program keeps reusable materials out of the landfill. That means less waste for the planet and less clutter for you. Request a free shipping label. See, this is what I'm thinking, what I thought that Apple was doing, a type of like recycling program that you can either take it to somewhere that's it's an old phone, you're not gonna do anything with that, and you take it somewhere, throw it in a box or something, or in this case you request a free shipping label, they send it to you, you remove your data and pack your device, and then you place your device in a sturdy box, attach the label, and drop it off at a collection site near you. There's plenty of, I think Office Depot and Staples are collection sites. And there you go, your device will be responsibly recycled. Makes sense. Apple, you're lacking there. It's always with having to make money somehow. Like, why? Why is it that it has to be always like money based? I get it, capitalism and whatnot, but okay, so this is how to recycle most any type of electronics at Apple, Best Buy, and Staples. Horrible grammatical structure there for that sentence. This was written by Michael Potuk, published November 9th, 2022. I'm reading off of 9to5mac.com. Curious where you can recycle old devices and more for free? Read on for how to recycle electronics of any brands at Apple, Best Buy, Staples, and more. Electronic waste is a problem as it has become the fastest growing type of waste worldwide. The bright side is there are some really easy ways to properly recycle your old devices and almost any electronic or appliance, no matter where you bought them or if they're damaged. Keep in mind, these free recycling programs are separate from trade-in options, where you can get cash or value for your old devices that are working like Apple's trade-in program or through our partner Declutter. Okay. I want to drink some.
How to recycle electronics at Apple, Best Buy, and Staples. Erase the data from your device if possible. Take your device or other electronics to an Apple, Best Buy, or Staples store for free recycling. Staples even offers in-store credit for recycling your electronics. Apple offers online recycling options in some countries. If you want to double check if your device will be accepted, check out the resources below. If you don't have an Apple, Best Buy, or Staples in your area, check this recycling locator to find another option. Tip: Apple and Staples are great for medium and small electronics, while Best Buy is ideal for large ones as they take TVs and home appliances. Best Buy does charge for some large appliances. Apple stores, in my experience, Apple will accept almost any electronic device from any manufacturer for free recycling. If you have a large or unique electronic to recycle, you could call your local store to check before hauling it in.
Thank you. But we're gonna put a name to the person that's reading, to that voice. Chat, let me know what name would be best for us to start calling that voice whenever I put her to read for us. Okay, so Staples accepts a very wide range of devices for its free recycling program. Better yet, Staples gives $5 in-store credit for device recycling and $2 per ink or toner cartridge. Interesting. Look, these are all the things that can be recycled in store. In case you didn't know. Listen, why am I mentioning this? If you're watching me, you probably have a box that has a whole bunch of this shit in it. Dude, I have cables from a Nintendo 64 in a box somewhere. That's how, come on now. I don't know why. I don't know what's going to be saved with that. Maybe at some point there's going to be a zombie apocalypse and those are going to be the only cables that are going to be used or some shit like that. I don't know. I don't know what the purpose is of me actually saving all these things, but it's good to know that you can throw these things out. You can recycle them and they can be out of your space and not thrown into a landfill where it's just going to contaminate the environment even more than what's already contaminated. And just a quick reminder that a lot of the things that are on this list have batteries that have lithium in them and shit. So yeah, you need to keep that in mind. So a lot of the tech things that you can take to Staples is adapters and cables, all-in-one computers, battery backup devices, calculators, camcorders, CD, DVD, Blu-ray players, coffee brewers that are less than 40 pounds, computer speakers, cordless phones, if you still have those lying around, desktop computers, digital cameras, digital projectors, flash drives, fax machines, gaming consoles. But obviously there's lots of people that buy gaming consoles, especially if they're old, because they can just refurbish them, so you can also keep that in mind as well. GPS devices, remember those? Remember those old GPS devices that people had to use back in the day that you can rent them when you would rent a car? Obviously now when you rent a car, they have like screens and shit. But back in the day when they didn't have a screen, Hertz would give you that option if you wanted to rent a car with a GPS device. And that GPS device they charge you like $50-$60 for it. I did it once. I'm like, you know what? I'm good with that. I'm cool. So MP3 players, modems, monitors, printers, routers, scanners, shredders, tablets, webcams, batteries. Any of these type of batteries, lithium, nickel, zinc, take them there. Don't throw them out in the trash can. And I'm gonna tell you why. because that's the whole point of the King Angel Show. We go down rabbit holes. So batteries are considered hazard. The question I asked is why you should not throw away batteries in the trash. And it says batteries are considered hazardous because of the metals and or other toxic or corrosive materials they contain. Batteries are potentially a valuable source of recyclable metal. Let's see if we can find any videos that can explain it. So let's see if we can find something. Okay, so it says, why can't you throw away batteries? This is probably going to have something of sorts.
This is brought to me.com. If you've got a box of old batteries sitting around your house,
Nice.
That's not the worst thing you could be doing with them.
No!
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of D News. I'm Amy and you're watching thanks to the miracle of electricity. Electricity we've grown accustomed to carrying around with us thanks to batteries. Electricity is what you get when electrons flow through a conductive path like a wire to create a circuit, and batteries play a key role in that circuit. A typical household battery, like a AA battery, has three basic parts: the negatively charged anode, the positively charged cathode, and the electrolyte typically containing sulfuric acid and water that sits between them. The cathode and anode are the bits that touch your device via the spring and little knobbly bit in the battery well of, say, a flashlight. They're the pieces that close the electrical circuit. The chemical reaction inside a battery causes a buildup of electrons at the anode, which causes a difference in electrical charge between the anode and the cathode. The electrons want to rearrange themselves and balance out this charge, so they repel each other to get to where there are fewer electrons. In a battery, that's the cathode. But the electrolyte in the battery stops the electrons from just hopping over to the cathode. So the only way the electrons can get to where they want to go is to follow a circuit, say through a wire that illuminates the bulb of a flashlight. So why do batteries die? The electrochemical process within a battery actually changes the anode and cathode to the point where they stop supplying electrons. When there are no more electrons, there's no more power in the battery. Rechargeable batteries work by changing the direction of the flow of electrons. The electrochemical process happens in reverse, restoring the anode and cathode to their original states and the battery to full power. And here's the big question. Why exactly can't you throw a non-rechargeable battery away once it's dead? Batteries are made from chemicals found in minerals of heavy metals, minerals that can be poisonous even in a very small amount. So you don't really want them sitting around your house, and you really don't want to throw them away into a landfill where they pose environmental risks. It's best to dispose of batteries properly because if it's done right, batteries can almost or entirely be recycled. Recycling a battery is a multi-stage process. First, the battery is broken apart by a hammer mill such that the lead and heavier pieces fall to the bottom and the lighter plastic pieces float. The plastic pieces are washed, dried, and sent to a plastic recycler. The lead parts are cleaned and heated in a smelting furnace until it is molten. That molten lead is then poured into ingot molds and left to cool so the impurities float to the top. Once the impurities are scraped away, the ingots are left to cool completely before being remelted and used to produce new batteries. Battery acid is either neutralized and turned into water or processed and converted to sodium sulfate, which can be used in laundry detergent, glass, and textile manufacturing. What to do and where to go varies depending on where you live and usually means asking your local government what to do. So how many of you will hold on to your old batteries until you can dispose of them properly? Let us know in the comments below, or you can catch me on Twitter as AST Vintage Space. And don't...
Wow. Dude, great information. That was wonderful. Yeah, that's why you can't throw batteries away. That specific one that they showed there was extremely corrosive. So, corrosed, I guess that's the word. Crazy. So yeah, it's definitely harmful to the environment to throw away batteries like that. Let's see. So this is a San Francisco Department of the San Francisco official on how to dispose of old batteries. So let's see.
The San Francisco Department of the Environment is officially launching a new campaign to make sure you know how to properly get rid of batteries. And joining me is Peter Galata. Thanks for joining us, Peter.
Thank you.
With the San Francisco Department of the Environment. So we love guests who bring props. You've got batteries.
Thank you.
Got a little bucket right here. So tell me what the concern is right now.
Sure.
I have a jar full of batteries that, dang, I should really dispose of, because properly dispose of, which is what we're learning about. But I just realized that I do have one because I didn't want to throw them out in the trash can like that. But shit, let's see what they say about how to properly dispose of them. And this is a San Francisco shout out Bay Area. I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area, so he's talking about what I should be doing. See, it all works out for the best. Damn. All right. Let's see.
So batteries are a hazardous material, and so in California it's actually illegal for batteries to be disposed of in the landfill. So batteries never belong in your black trash bin or in your recycling or composting bin. Batteries can have toxic chemicals, they can leach into soil or water, and they also can potentially be fire hazards. We've had a number of waste facilities that have experienced fires because batteries have been disposed of improperly. It's also a potential hazard for workers at these facilities.
All right, so we've got a bunch of old batteries right here. What do I do?
We do.
In San Francisco, let's say for now, we'll talk about that, to try to dispose of them.
So we want to beat battery waste in San Francisco, and so we've launched a new campaign to inform residents about how they can properly recycle.
It's a little old though. This is from 2018.
Or bin top. That's what we want residents to remember. You can put your batteries, old batteries, into a clear, sealed bag, and place it on top of your black trash bin.
Okay.
And then put it out on your collection day. Or you can throw them into one of these orange collection buckets if you find one in your apartment building. It's just that easy.
So are these readily visible? I mean, if you have a single family home, you probably don't have this, right?
That's right.
Okay.
You can dispose of through the bin top.
Okay.
If you're in a large apartment building, like my apartment building, when I walk in, there's one of these right in the lobby, and so I can dispose of it any time. Most apartment buildings in San Francisco have these, and if not, Recology can bring one to your apartment building.
Interesting.
Okay. Now this works for San Francisco. I live in the East Bay, so what do you advise?
So again, batteries never belong in your trash bin.
Okay.
We ask you to check with your local waste collection provider. You could also visit recyclewhere.org for information about where you can take your batteries anywhere in the Bay Area.
Okay. What would they likely recommend me do?
We're going to be adding to that as well, because I literally just saw it. Vape batteries. Goes the same advice that they're giving for the disposal of old batteries. You have to take into consideration when you're disposing of vape pens as well, because this is a battery. So keep that in mind as well. It just popped into my head hearing them talk about batteries, but in reality, I mean, a lot of us suck on batteries all day, so at some point this isn't going to be good. So don't throw them out in the trash can, I guess. That's like the whole point. Huh. Crazy how I just thought about that.
Would they do the same thing, put it on top of a bin, or what do you think?
That you either could do that, or they might have you bring it back to a collection site, either to a household hazardous waste facility or a retailer that will take these batteries back.
Okay. How big of a problem is this in the city of San Francisco?
Well, we know that San Franciscans purchase about 17 million batteries every year, and we know that Recology last year collected 70 tons of batteries. So there are a lot of batteries out there. We know a lot of folks have them in their junk drawers at home, and so we're saying, you know what, don't leave them there. Actually put them in a bag, put them on top of your black bin, or put them in one of these orange buckets.
I don't know if you have the data on this, but what percentage of all those batteries actually makes it into one of these bins?
Well, a lot of them, end up sitting with you at home or in your devices. So we know that we're collecting about 10% right now.
Only 10%.
But that's because they don't, of those that are sold, 10%. That's because they end up living in your device for a long time. But we know that
or in jars,
we're capturing more
or
of
bags
them through these convenient options that are now available to San Francisco residents.
All right, so we got to do better than 90% tossed in the trash.
That's why we're launching this campaign.
Got it. Peter Galata, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Pretty interesting. Again, this is from 2018. Maybe we could find something that's a little bit more recent. Okay, so let's say this is on their own website. Okay, so it says this is from usatoday.com. 7 things you never want to throw in the trash, from cell phones to car batteries. This was written by Kim Commando, special to USA Today, published October 20th, 2022. So let's see. This does not have any.
Found out that you were using your trash bags wrong. No more of this or this. I'm gonna show you some trash bag secrets. Now it'll work either way, but your trash bags actually come inside out. This seam should be on the inside. We're gonna grab our trash bag and fit it around the rim like a hat. Gently push down, and now you'll notice that the seam is on the inside. And since we're talking about garbage, it's hard not to talk about the gross odors. Now if you don't want to get...
I actually saw a TikTok video recently about someone explaining that. So I guess you're not supposed to. Some people, whichever one. Some people, or you're not supposed. Either one, depending on your perspective. But people take the trash bags out of the box where it comes from, and they'll put the trash can in the bottom. Like they'll put the whole thing in the bin, and they'll take the first one. They open it, and then they'll cover the trash can. And then when that one is filled, you grab it, you pull up, and then the other one is still attached. All you do is you rip the bottom, you put over, and then you just take the other one and you throw it out. I didn't know that. I probably did it the same way you've been doing it for the past lifetime. You rip the bag from the box, grab it, you open it, and then you put it on the trash bin. You spread it, and then that's it. And then you just put that box with all the other trash bags. They're rolled up together. You put it back into whatever cabinet you had that shit in, and that's it until the next time you have to take one out. But no. Apparently we were doing that shit wrong. Another thing that I've been doing wrong this whole time, apparently, I didn't know was, the travel pillows that people buy for their necks. And it's in the shape of like a U. You're supposed to wear the thing with the gap in the back, and you wear the whole thing in the front because that's how you're supposed to find comfort when you're sleeping on an airplane. Minimum shit. It's like I didn't know that, but still pretty good tips. That's a great life hack right there. The one with the trash bags too, that's a pretty great life hack as well. I mean, why not? Let's see, do we have a video?
I'm sure you have a collection of electronics and old accessories taking up valuable space in a dark closet. Why do I still have this?
I do, bro. I still have my iPod. I still have that same iPod. The iPod video, the first gen. The one I had was like it was like there was one that didn't have like video or anything, but this one was like video. Dude, I remember watching with my wife. We were dating back then. We were not married yet. We watched like a whole season of The Office on that little iPod like that. Yep. We would sit next to each other. We would put the iPod on the little thing, like on the little something that would kind of hold it in the back, dude, and we would watch. We would connect, because the good thing is that at least you could connect the iPod to a speaker, and that's how we watched. I think it was like season 4, something like that, of that whole show, the whole season of that show, which was the ones I mentioned, either 3 or 4, and yeah, love blossomed from there even more. It's crazy. Start thinking about your past and all the things that you've been through up to this point, and you're like, shit, it's a lot. Been through a whole lot, especially when you've been with someone for so long. It's like, start thinking about your past and how unique it was, because good times. Those were good times. I still have, and it still works too. It still turns on and everything. And I went through like that list. I had it stashed somewhere. I like turned it on and went through like the whole the whole list of artists that I have there and whatnot. And yeah, transporting me back to other times. I remember I think the last album I had added to that iPod was Volnakora by Björk. So that was like 2015. And I put it somewhere because it has a problem and it doesn't necessarily work 100%. It still turns on and you could potentially listen to the music that's there, but like every 10-15 seconds it does this, it has like this weird sound and it kind of goes like cluck, cluck, and then it goes back to playing the song. And then it does it again 10 or 15 seconds later. Cluck, cluck. So it's like, fuck it. At this point, it's just a memory that I have there that I like to look at from time to time. Pretty awesome. Good times. Good times. That always reminds me of that The Office episode when Michael gifts Ryan an iPod. That's how, like, whoa, having especially like an iPod video at one point, dude, it was like $400 or $500. Bull, probably like $300, $400, depending on how much like memory you were buying it with. But if it was the one that had the most memory of all of them, yeah, dude, you were probably gonna be paying a hefty amount for that. And if you think about it, I mean, $300 to $400 may not seem that much now, but what is it, like 15 years ago? It was still money. You could find a 1-bedroom apartment for like $500-600 still. Just look at it from that perspective, as opposed to now where that's like virtually impossible. I saw somewhere that said that nationwide the median rent right now is like $1,200 at this point, $1,300 nationwide, not just a specific state and whatnot, or like I mean, I live in California, so rent here is extremely expensive. But yeah, $300 to $400, $500, that was a lot of money back then. Think about it. Dude, look how fucking awesome this t-shirt is. Portishead? Bro, if you don't know Portishead, it's too bad I can't play their music or anything like that here. Join my Discord, King Angel's Entertainment Lounge. Here, I'll put this shit right here. Bam, you can find those links in the About section description box, or you can find it in the description box of this same video if you're watching me on Facebook. But yeah, join that Discord. We'll talk about a whole bunch of things. We'll watch movies, album listens, documentaries, science, space, a little bit of everything. I do replays of the episodes there as well, in case you don't see the live stream. And yeah, try to keep it as entertaining as possible. But yeah, join that Discord. I put the links in chat. Again, you can find it in the description box, in the About section, or in the description of the live stream if you're watching me on Facebook. Let's finish watching. It's only a minute long. Can I speed it up? You know what? Maybe I'll put the captions on it. I'll cut the music. I'll repeat it a little bit so that we can read the captions. Many electronics have valuable components that can be recycled and reused. When it comes to your data, make sure it's backed up and securely wiped before you dispose of it. And that includes a hard drive on your computer. Cords and cables can also be recycled, so don't throw these away. If they're removable, take out any batteries and memory cards too. Makes sense. Rechargeable batteries need to be recycled separately. It only took 10 years, but now this is a disposable camera. Yeah, 10.3 megapixels. What is it? Dude. That's crazy how this person literally just said, like, the digital cameras, dude. Yeah, it's a disposable camera at this point. I mean, you can get the quality of what would have been the highest quality of a picture back when a digital camera was it. It's pretty crazy. You can have that shit right now on whatever phone that you can find. Hell, you can find crappy phones that have better quality than the most expensive digital camera that has ever existed. Digital camera handheld like he has there. Not obvious. Obviously, if it's a professional digital camera that's used for photography or filming, obviously it's going to be the best quality. But the handheld cameras that they used to sell like that, Nokia cameras and shit, those are the ones that I'm talking about specifically. So, like Paul Mooney says, don't get it twisted. All right, let's finish. Let's see what else this video has to say. Or is showing us, because it has crappy music on it. I also ended up with a collection of cell phone cases. Many cases that are made of plastic can just go right into the recycling. Just check with the manufacturer website. Other cases, if they're in good shape, can be donated or returned to the manufacturer. Pick a crate and check your local area for e-waste disposal events. Oh, this used to be my favorite. I think it's a DEA. DEA in conjunction with, like, is it like Walgreens, CVS? It's like a chain of like pharmacies and stuff like that. Around in my town, they host. They have like a specific name for it, but it's where you can take all of your expired like drugs, you can take like empty pill bottles and shit. You can take it for them to dispose of. So yeah, I think that having something like that, I think I heard of that one as well in the same place too. That's why I mentioned it, because I think they did one for electronics as well. Interesting. But we did read that Staples accepts all these different products, so you could just like take it there. But we're still reading from 7 things you never want to throw in the trash, from cell phones to car batteries, because we went down the rabbit hole of trying to figure out if Apple was doing some type of recycling, which it doesn't seem like they are. Okay, so let's see. A motor oil, engine coolant, and other vehicle chemicals must also be disposed of properly. Speaking of cars, you don't need a brand new one to get today's tech inside. I don't know. Okay, so number 1, household batteries. Batteries are broken down into 2 broad categories: single-use and rechargeable. How you dispose of them is quite different. You can usually throw away standard alkaline batteries, which are AA, AAA, 9V, etc., that power your remote control, flashlight, and other everyday household items in the trash. I don't know if I'm reading something that is... What? That seems to be some conflicting information based off of what we have been able to read up until this point. I'm not sure if I want to continue on reading from this website if you're telling me that you can throw away those batteries in the trash, but we just literally saw someone explaining that can cause like fires and environmental hazards when it's disposed of in the trash and it ends up in a landfill. They even showed an example of it. See why you can't take things that you read like that at like face value like that. Like just like whatever's being said to you, you have to dig into it a little more. If we had not seen or read about all that previous information that we read in regards to how to dispose of batteries, which is extremely dangerous to do, we fucking read this telling us that you can usually throw away batteries in the trash. Huge no-no. Huge no-no. Button, cell, or coin batteries. The kind you'll find in calculators, watches, hearing aids, and car key fobs may contain silver and mercury and should not be thrown away in the trash. Bring them to a battery recycler or participating retailers that provide battery take-back services. Lithium ion and nickel cadmium batteries are most commonly found in cell phones, laptops, tablets, digital cameras, power tools, and toys. These batteries should never be tossed in the trash or placed in the recycle bin. They must be taken to separate recycling or household hazardous waste collection centers. Yeah, again, like they mentioned it in the video that we saw before. Depending on where you live in the States, just check on your waste management. They should have some type of program that accepts batteries and stuff, because it's used everywhere. There has to be a way to be able to dispose them correctly. So, yeah, check in on your waste management. Small sealed lead acid batteries are found in emergency devices, security systems, mobility scooters, and other special use items. These also need to be taken to special disposal centers. See, Staples, Home Depot, and Best Buy have battery drop-off programs. Smartphones and tablets. Now, there's no way to remove the battery from many smartphones or tablets. Don't simply chuck these devices in the trash, as the batteries can cause fires. And if there's one thing I can tell you about fires living in California for so long, is that it sucks. It sucks. It sucks experiencing it. It sucks being under fire watch. It sucks being under a constant threat of a fire happening. Fires, in my personal opinion, I compare them to like tornadoes. They form, they attack, they're there, they destroy, and it just keeps going on. And the shit is crazy. I've obviously been under fire watch before. I've been under like threat of a fire extremely close to where I live. I've had to evacuate. I've had to evacuate for several days, and I am again on a minimum list, because there are plenty of people in this state, especially in Northern California, that have been through way worse when it comes to fires. I have lost everything in a fire. So yeah, I can understand perfectly why they would not want smartphones and tablets to be thrown away in the trash, including batteries as well, because they can cause fires too. It's things that people, especially here in California or places that fires are more prone to happen, dude, there's so many little things like this that they need to be taken into consideration. Listen, I'm gonna give you an example of something. One of the biggest fires that happened here in Northern California happened because it was a motorbike. I don't know, I guess when it was being turned on and when they were revving the engine to be able to get it to turn on, or whatever the case may be, it caused some sparks, and it was so hot that day and so dry, those sparks just hit a nearby leaves and grass, dude, and a huge fire started from there. So yeah, definitely take it from someone who has just, at least, even if it's a little bit, but it's just that little bit is enough to be able to actually say something about it. And fires suck. Donkey nuts. Not to mention the fact that that shit'll burn through your belongings like this. Crazy. Yeah, we're going into fire season soon. This week it's gonna be really hot up here, and mind you, I am really excited for the sun and being able to go out, having some fun with wifey, going out for hiking, going out walking and shit. But it's living with this constant fear that at any given moment a fire can just start, and that could just take shit from that point on, and damn, it sucks. Hopefully it'll be better this year, because it rains a whole lot up here, but yeah, constant threat of a fire. Yeah, it sucks. Donkey nuts, dude. All right, so they talk here about, okay, so what should you do with it? It says try trading in the old device when purchasing a new one. Most manufacturers will recycle it for free, even if you don't get credit for it. Check out Apple's program, for example. Oh, nice. The resource page at Earth 911 has locations that will accept your old phone or tablet. Obviously, you have to do a factory reset, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I mean, also, yeah, you can. It says like, here's an idea: turn your old phone or tablet into something else entirely. You can make, I guess, your phone, computer, tablet, or laptop into a motion-activated camera. It's true. You can also use it as a device to watch things on as well, and connect like a monitor to it. There's plenty of uses for it. You can donate it as well. There's plenty of people that will take the computers. So there are many ways for you to dispose of them that are not just throwing them in the trash or, you know, having them accumulate there for a long time. Okay, number 3, televisions. Your television contains glass, lead, and other dangerous chemicals and should not end up in the landfill. And unless it's bulk trash pickup time, don't just put your old TV on the curb. Try calling your local Best Buy, Walmart, and other electronic stores to see if they'll accept old TVs for recycling. If you're having a new one delivered and installed, they should take the old one, though there may be a fee. It sucks. Like, why are you... That doesn't make any sense. Like, if anything, you as these big retailers refurbish a lot of these things. So if anything, those old TVs, unless they're disposed of and taken apart, you'll probably refurbish it and sell it. So, come on. Let's keep it real. Let's not get it twisted like Paul Mooney says. Car batteries. They contain lead and acid and pose a severe environmental risk to humans and animals. That means don't drop your old one in a dumpster. If you replace your battery at an auto shop, they should take the old one and dispose of it for you. This is the law in some jurisdictions and applies to retailers who sell car batteries, even if they don't sell you one or install one for you. That's pretty good. Lighters. See, this is a pretty interesting one. Fellow stoners out there. This is a very important one, okay? Let's read into it. Lighters. Just like batteries, there are disposable and reusable lighters. You can safely throw these cheap plastic lighters you can pick up just about anywhere in the trash if they're empty, though this depends on state laws. Don't pour it down the sink if there's still lighter fluid. Wow, there's people that actually do that? Go outside and activate the lighter until the fluid is used. If it gets too hot, take a break and try later. In some jurisdictions, you need to take your lighter to a household hazardous waste site. Zippos and butane utility lighters can be used repeatedly, but when it's time to get rid of them, be careful. Make sure they're empty before disposing of them, and if you have leftover lighter fluid or butane, take that to your nearest household hazardous waste site. Again, never pour this stuff down any drain. I mean, why am I even surprised that someone would throw butane down the drain if people would stuff, like, when they're getting raided for, like, drugs and shit, they stuff cocaine and drugs, like, down the toilet. So, yeah, I guess foolish me for not putting two and two together. Alright, number 6, thermometers. Old school glass thermometers can contain mercury, which is highly toxic to the environment and living things. Don't throw it in the trash, and be careful not to break it. Look, some universities will take old thermometers and make... it shouldn't have to get to the point of me having to say it, but as a reminder, if you have an old thermometer that you plan on donating, and I guess some universities even exchange it for a newer digital model, I mean, kindly sanitize that thermometer that you had there at your house. Who knows what orifice that thermometer has been. Just do people a favor and do those university students a favor. And please sanitize it. Please. Isopropyl alcohol will do the trick, I guess. Or deep clean that thermometer. Bro, could you imagine? Dude. I wouldn't put it past people. People are strange. Okay, number 7, car tires. Car tires contain steel belts that can puncture landfills and contaminate the environment. When you change your tires at a shop, they should take your old ones. There may be a small fee. Like, I can understand the small fee for taking the tire off. I get that, but you're charging someone a fee for taking something that you can most likely make business with if you fix it. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Huh. So, how eco-friendly are electric vehicles? It all depends on the battery. Okay, this is from abc7.com. It was written by Juan Carlos Guerrero, published April 27th, 2022. That's a pretty interesting question. How eco-friendly are electric vehicles? It all depends on the battery. It's really interesting. Thank you so much for that follow, King Nick 007. I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. We're talking about, well, we just fell on this specific article. Begs that question of how eco-friendly are electric vehicles. We're talking about, this all stemmed from Good News Network. Recycle any device for free, and they were talking about this, and one thing led to the other that then led to us falling into this here. I just saw the article and it caught my eye, and I'm curious because that's a pretty interesting question there.
Session. There are an estimated 290 million vehicles registered in the country. That's nearly one for every person, including children. Each year, about 12 million of these vehicles end up in junkyards, where parts are taken out to be reused or recycled. But hybrid and electric vehicles present a new challenge. They have large batteries that can be toxic, and there are questions about what to do with them at the end of their service life.
And remember, we just read right now that one of the things that are really hard to dispose of is car batteries, and you shouldn't dispose of them, obviously, in the trash like that. And when they're changed and whatnot, they normally, the company that's changing it, depending on where you live, there's like laws set in place, obviously, again, depending on what jurisdiction you're in, that retailers that sell car batteries have to take the battery from you. So makes sense. And again, it's a business. They fix it and they're able to just like use it again. So why not? Okay, so let's finish watching this, or continue watching it because it's only 30 seconds in.
Life. We visited several junkyards. While the operators did not want to talk on camera, they did show us around. One had a pile of old hybrid batteries. Another had them tossed among other parts. Some still were in the vehicles.
There are risks associated with this. Aged batteries or damaged batteries, lithium-ion batteries that we use in electric vehicles are a fire hazard. It's important to make sure that these batteries are managed correctly at the end of life. There's also a risk that you could have heavy metals and other hazardous materials leached into the environment.
This is the first meeting of the California Lithium-Ion Car Battery Recycling Advisory Group.
2 years ago, the California legislature set up an advisory panel to develop regulations on managing batteries from zero-emission vehicles.
How would we incentivize battery recycling?
The panel was made up of vehicle manufacturers, recyclers, and environmentalists.
A lot of electric vehicles
Wow, that's a really good question.
retiring in the next 5, 10, 20 years. We don't have this complete infrastructure in place to handle the battery inside the vehicle. The intent of the advisory group was to devise policies that would ensure as close to 100% of all of these batteries coming out of electric vehicles will be recycled, repaired, and reused back into another electric vehicle, or they could be reused as stationary storage applications for the grid.
Mohammed Rosti is already doing.
Dude, that's a... Okay, this person's already doing it. That's a fabulous idea right there. Reuse the vehicles, because at some point, it's a really good question that's posed there. Like, and I never thought about that because I only saw it from the perspective of, you know, we have a new wave of vehicles being produced. They're electric and whatnot, and all the benefits that it brings, like, for the environment. But at some point, said cars are gonna start, you know, I guess having like problems and shit. Like, we don't know how long electric cars are gonna last like that. Like, fully electric vehicles only. there's not a lifespan for them. So what happens 10, 15 years from now when we have like a junkyard filled with electric cars? That's a pretty great question. Pretty great solution. Use those same materials that were built into that vehicle, that were built for that vehicle, use it for another one. Or better yet, solar panels. Anything that could help, mitigate the constant use of fossil fuels and start using other things. And that way, those said electric vehicles that are no longer in service won't cause such, damaging environmental hazards, because those batteries are pretty big. Some of the batteries, I think, for electric vehicles are bigger than regular batteries that are used for cars. Well, think about it. Wow, that's cool. This is a really good question. I didn't even think about it. Chat, let me know what you guys think. Did you guys think this was a pretty interesting question? Have you thought about this before in regards to electric vehicles? Because I sure as hell had not. But that's the beauty of the King Angel Show. We're always reviewing, discussing, and going down rabbit holes, and one thing leads to the other. And look how far we were into this, talking about electric cars and what's going to happen to them in the future and what to do. Really great question. And again, before I continue, as always, since I just had someone follow me now, I am King Angel. This is the King Angel Show. I am a live streamer and content creator from the San Francisco Bay Area, here on YouTube and Twitch, also Facebook. And you can check out my schedule, all my information, join my Discord. All those links you can find in the description box, in the About section, or in the description of the live stream over on Facebook. So you choose. All right, moving on.
Doing some of that work. He runs Hybrid Battery Solution from a small room in San Leandro. What we do is
East Bay.
Old recycled batteries. We check the capacity, the voltage, to see how much they can hold the load. And if they're reusable, we put it back in the car. If they're not, then we'll be recycling. This technology is about 10, 15 years old. We focus on recycling each part of the battery. So like this one is still alive, we can still use this. The goal is to have zero waste.
There's a lot of research in making the batteries to be able to extract those materials from the cells, from the batteries, and to reuse them. The value of those electric vehicle batteries is only going to increase, and there's going to be a lot of interest in reusing those batteries in other applications. So I don't think there's a major concern down the road about abandoned EV batteries, because there will be quite a bit of value associated with them.
I don't know about that.
Waste management is rarely profitable for the company doing it unless there's a fee involved. We pay a deposit on cans and bottles so that there's an economic driver for seeing recycling happen.
Listen, I'm all for recycling. Let's be realistic about it. Dude, capitalism, these companies made it so that the burden of having to recycle fell on us, the consumer. Not only do we pay for it, we have to be on top of having to recycle it as well. You look it up. It's actually, albeit I understand that it's for the benefit of society and the benefit of everyone. They put the burden on the consumer. 100%. 100%. Not them taking any actions to be able to not use said plastics. No. They'll use the plastics. But then we have to figure out what to do with it. Isn't that something? We're going to let this one finish. I want to jump into that real quick. I know we can find a great video that can explain it to us, because it's so interesting. Dude, I should make like a series of episodes that focuses on the way the way capitalism has been able to manipulate the situation in so many aspects that has led us to believe things that when you really start thinking about it, you're like, wait, what? how does that work? Dude, it's insane. That's really interesting. I might do that.
We have to acknowledge that the industry might not just happen on its own. We might need to intervene a bit with policy to make sure that the incentives are in place to see those batteries recycled.
And again, it's not to say that I don't agree with recycling. Obviously I do. But you have to be realistic about shit. I mean, you can't just live life with imaginary things. You have to be realistic about where things start from and why things happen. And yeah, you put that shit on us, 100%. You'll see. I'm gonna prove it to you after we watch this video.
Everybody has a lead acid battery in their car. It's what makes your engine start, right? Those batteries are recycled at rates of upwards of 90%. Thank you. Battery in the deposit comes back, and that's how we get them recycled. Right now, for electric.
Thank you so much for that follow, X Holiday. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here. Right now, we're talking about how eco-friendly are electric vehicles, and it all depends on the battery. And they're just explaining about basically the future of what will happen when all these electric vehicles start having these huge problems and whatnot, end up in junkyards, everything that can be done with them afterwards. So I appreciate you being here, and hope you're having a great day. Let me know in chat how your day is going. Stay gas. Well, I mean, we do have to move on at some point from it, but it's still a great question because we're only seeing it from the perspective of the now and how it's benefiting us humans at this point. But how like, what would be the environmental setback that electric vehicles could definitely pose to human beings later on? You know, what happens when all vehicles are electric at some point and they all start ending up at, in junkyards and shit? I don't know about that. We're already controlled with cell phones and shit, so I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, let's see.
Vehicle batteries, we don't have any kind of program in place.
The leading recommendation is to have the vehicle manufacturer handle the battery while the vehicle is under warranty. When the vehicle reaches the end of its life, an auto dismantler would be responsible for the battery. But if no one wants it, the original manufacturer would have to take responsibility for it again. But
which should be the norm. It should be that manufacturers take back that shit, because they're the ones that they created it. You might as well just take it back, because again, it's capitalism. You can use, you would be able to restore that and just resell it. It's not unheard of. It's not uncommon. Let's see. There's enough oil under one country in Texas to supply the whole U.S. for 200 years. I don't know. Let's see. So, we'll ask the question, how much oil does Texas have? So, Texas is by far the largest oil producing state in the United States. In 2021, Texas produced a total of 1.7 billion barrels. Let's see. So, we'll ask another question. How much oil does the U.S. consume in a year? And we'll do a comparison. So, the EIA uses products supplied to represent U.S. petroleum consumption. In 2022, the United States consumed an average of about 20.28 million barrels of petroleum per day, or a total of about 7.4 billion barrels of petroleum. It would still need a whole bunch more to be able to supply the whole U.S., but I think that maybe Texas could produce enough oil for probably like 5 states, maybe 6 if you're like pushing it. But yeah, no, there's a stark difference between the amount of, well, I mean, dude, the U.S., we consume a lot of oil. That's the truth of the matter. And yeah, it would take Texas a whole lot to be able to produce that amount of oil to be able to supply the whole United States. Now, begs the question, how much oil does the U.S. have in reserve that could potentially be used for a situation like that? Let's see. How much? Okay, so what is a petroleum reserve? America's strategic petroleum reserve is a collection of underground salt caverns in Texas and Louisiana that can hold more than 700 million barrels of oil, although it is not currently full. And we're consuming 7.4 billion barrels of petroleum. Dude, we consume a lot of oil. If you really think in comparison, we still... Even if we were to take into consideration the reserve of petroleum, plus the amount of oil that Texas produces, it still wouldn't be able to cover the amount of oil that's consumed in the U.S. It's a lot of oil. That's a lot, especially when you make the comparison like that. Okay, so let's see. All right, let's continue.
Disposing of the batteries is just one environmental challenge. Another one is the mining of the materials and metals that are used to make them.
We can't replace dirty oil with dirty mining. In order to have electric vehicles, we need new metals that we've never needed at scale before. Metals like lithium and cobalt. The demand
That's
for lithium
true?
has gone up really fast.
Interesting. I've never seen it in that perspective.
Australia. They're getting it from hard rock minerals, which historically have meant they have higher environmental impacts.
Organizations like Earthworks fight to reduce the environmental impact of mining and energy extraction. It created a system called the Initiative for Responsible Mining Assurance, or IRMA for short.
We're working on getting mines to become IRMA certified mines that will help assure customers downstream, automakers, that the product that they're using doesn't come at the harm of communities and the environment.
Not all lithium comes from other parts of the world. Last year, the California legislature created the Lithium Valley Commission to study extraction of the metal from the Salton Sea, an area that's already considered one of the most polluted places in California.
In the Salton Sea, we have geothermal electricity production that uses brine that's brought up in order to generate electricity. And that brine happens to be rich in lithium. The state is working on to determine whether we can extract the lithium from that brine for electric vehicle production. But also in the Salton Sea, we have some very acute environmental impacts.
It's not just lakes like the Salton Sea that have faced environmental harm. There's growing concern about mining for minerals on the ocean floor.
On the floor of the ocean, we have deep sea corals, which have been living for hundreds of...
Sorry about my camera. I don't know what the hell's going on. Checking to see if maybe someone was calling me, but no.
Not thousands of years. We have animals like the bloody belly comb jelly and many other animals that are the basis of the food chain for whales, dolphins. This is a very diverse ecosystem.
The Monterey Bay Aquarium is co-sponsoring legislation to prohibit leases for mining within 3 miles of the California coast. It's hoping that inspires bans further into the deep ocean.
Seabed mining destroys entire habitats as it grinds up the crust of the seabed.
When minerals are taken from the seafloor, that's just the beginning of the process. The parts that they want to keep are taken out, but then the mud and the silt gets pumped back into the ocean. Once you put sediment into the water column, that's going to be carried off to currents literally 50, 100 miles away from the source of the mining. It's going to make the environment really cloudy, and it'll affect their feeding, finding mates, all kinds of processes that rely on bioluminescence in the water column.
EV drivers are choosing electric vehicles because they care at some level about the impacts. Automakers are also recognizing they need to do things better. We should.
What the fuck did they add that music for? That's a nice ass Volvo. Crap. Damn, that's a nice Volvo. I love that car. Oh wait, I took the camera off because it kept doing that thing. I don't know why. Hey, look, it's still doing it. The video's not even playing anymore. Wait, I'm gonna wait until it catches up. I think we are... not caught up. Fuck it. Oh, that's pretty interesting. Oh, damn. Well, if it died, don't throw it in the trash. It's one of the things that we read. It's hazardous. Shit, I forgot what I was going to look for. Okay, so let's see. I was going to open it. I fucking completely forgot. Because I started thinking about this whole EV situation. Okay. What part did your phone die though? So wait, hold on. I actually left it open here. So I'll just repeat it really quickly. So Texas produces about they produce about 1.7 billion barrels. This was of crude oil in 2021. The consumption in the U.S., like I mentioned, was 7.4 billion barrels. The reserve that the U.S. has can hold more than 700 million barrels of oil. With the consumption of like the total, which is about 7.4 billion barrels, even combining the amount that Texas produces and has, plus the reserves in Louisiana and Texas, still wouldn't be enough for the amount of oil that's consumed in the U.S. It's a lot. That's what I was mentioning before. It's a lot of oil that's consumed, and again, it's gonna take a very long time before we obviously move on to other things, because even the electric cars are still slowly being produced and whatnot. But I think at some point it's just gonna be a balance between like obviously it's like a hybrid vehicle, but it'll be more geared towards it being more electric but with lower gas consumption, and that consumption is going to be lower and lower to the point where it just won't be as needed as before. Who knows? We have about 78 billion barrels of untapped reserves. It is a lot, but we use gas generators to charge electric. Well, I mean, hold on. Let's see. Okay, so wait. So okay. So it holds 35,230,000,000 barrels. Wow, it's 11th in the world. We are the first in the world for oil consumption and oil production. Where can I see like a list? 11th in the world. Okay, there we go. So oil reserves by country. Top 3. Venezuela. They had about 18.2% of the world's share at 299,953,000,000. Saudi Arabia coming in at second place with a world share of 16.2%. Has 266,578,000,000 oil reserve barrels. This is as of 2016. Do we have anything newer? Because, come on. That's literally almost check out 2022. Okay, well, we jumped two spots from 11 to 9, but I guess the other one we read was from 2016. So let's see. The United States is the world's foremost producer of oil, as well as the world's largest consumer of oil, which makes it necessary for the U.S. to import additional oil from dozens of other oil-producing countries. Despite its world-leading oil production, the United States is only 9th in the world in terms of available oil reserves. So, again, Venezuela is number 1 and has 303.8 billion? In 1,000 million barrels. Oh, wow. Okay. And Venezuela holds 17.5% of the world total. And coming in really closely, again at number 2 is Saudi Arabia. Has 297.5 and has 17.2% of the world total. And then number 3, wow, at 168.1 and only has 9.7% of the world total. I mean, just the amount from Canada to Saudi Arabia is incredible. Wow, man, you would think that we would be at a higher number, but we're at number 9. Behind Iran, Iraq, Russia, Kuwait, and the United Arab Emirates. By a lot. Venezuela produces 3 times what the United States... I'm sorry. Venezuela has 3 times an oil... like 3 times bigger of an oil reserve than the United States has. Yeah, no, this is... I guess this is just... Okay, so how the accessibility of oil reserves impacts profitability. So Venezuela has the largest amount of oil reserves in the world with more than 300 billion barrels in reserve. Saudi Arabia has the second largest amount of oil reserves in the world with 297.5 billion barrels. Despite Venezuela's massive supply of natural resources, the country still struggles economically. Venezuela and Saudi Arabia have populations of comparable size. However, Saudi Arabia's economy is twice as large. One of the main reasons for this disparity is the accessibility of each country's oil reserves. Although Venezuela has the most oil reserves in the world, most of its oil is offshore or far underground and is considered to be dense. As such, the cost of extracting the oil in Venezuela's reserves using the technology currently available is too high to be profitable. Yeah, I'm gonna make this bigger. Let's see how it'll still look pretty horrible, but let's see. Ah! Beautiful. The more you know? I didn't know that at all. Which makes sense. Saudi Arabia's oil reserves, on the other hand, are close to the surface and on land, which makes the oil much more accessible and the extraction process vastly more cost effective. This, in turn, makes Saudi Arabia's oil sector significantly more profitable. Interesting. Huh? Well, there you go. Thank you, dude. It's so interesting too. It's the accessibility of information. I've mentioned it so many times before, and we live in such an amazing time. at the same time pretty weird too. But dude, you have devices that connect us automatically with vast amounts of information accessible right at our fingertips. It's insane to even think about. All right, we'll do one more article and then I'm out because it's lunchtime and I'm hungry. Ooh, yep. Right down my alley with this one. Reading from goodnewsnetwork.org. So, scientists discover pristine deep-sea coral reefs in Galápagos Marine Reserve teeming with life. This was written by Good News Network, published April 22nd, 2023. Nice, look how beautiful that looks. Scientists have discovered extensive ancient deep-sea coral reefs within the Galápagos Marine Reserve in Ecuador, the first of their kind ever to be documented inside the marine protected area since it was established in 1998. Did we get a video? Yes! Yes! All right. Try to make it a little bigger. The hell? I don't even know what the hell I was looking for. I have no idea what I was listening to though. That was insane. Hold on, this caught my eye. Researchers capture video of deepest fish ever recorded almost 5 miles below surface near Japan. I think I read this one before. April 4th, 2023. Let's see. Maybe they have a quick video. Caught my eye real quick. Okay, so let's see what The Guardian has to say. Again, this is from goodnewsnetwork.org. The deepest fish ever recorded underwater near Japan. It was filmed at a depth of 8,336 meters by Australian and Japanese researchers. Bruh. I've mentioned it here before. I'll say it again. Yeah, deep space, dude, it scares me and shit. To a certain point, but the deep sea, dude, the fact that we know more about our universe and planets than what we know about the deep sea and what's under that water all the way down there scares the living bejesus out of me. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I mentioned at that time that we were looking at the we're looking at the Schmidt Ocean Institute website. Really beautiful website. Let me see if I can find that video. So I may just have to like I may have to like pause the music because it probably has like copyright music and shit to it, but let's see if maybe we can see something that doesn't have.
In this story, James Cameron isn't the only character taking a voyage to the Mariana Trenches.
Okay, so this was back in 2012. It was a long time ago. We've talked about the Mariana Trenches here before. It's considered at this point one of the deepest sea levels ever recorded, so it's pretty deep. James Cameron, he submerged in like this little, like I spoke about it that day, but it's like a little submarine kind of thing with like a like a spheric looking thing. It was him and a lady that went down there, and it gets to a point where it's the pitchest black that he has ever encountered in his life. There's no light whatsoever. So imagine all those creatures that are down there and they've never had light touch them, and they're like bioluminescent and shit, bro. Man, the deep sea is some scary shit, in my own personal opinion. Let me know in chat if that is the same for you. But again, you can look that fact up, you can Google it. We know more about space and about what surrounds the planet than we know about the deep sea.
Deepest point, Challenger deep. Do you want to see how we're going to do it? Yes, let's do it. The vehicle? Yeah. This, in Cameron's eyes, is the other. His submersible, Deep Sea Challenger. It took a team of scientists and the National Geographic Society more than 7 years to make a sub able to withstand pressures at the trench's depths, 16,000 pounds per square inch. So it does stay vertical. Flies like a seahorse. Flies like a seahorse. Yeah, you know how it just stays upright in the water column, got a little fin on the back?
I want to tell you a little bit more about Deep Sea Challenger as it's docked and resting and being worked on here. It weighs 12 tons, and even though it's on its side, it's actually 24 feet high. It's powered by these specially created lithium batteries, and its body is made up of a syntactic foam that was developed by Cameron and his team of scientists, and that color that you see there, Cameron calls that Kawasaki green.
I'm pretty used to clambering around this thing. It's a one-seater designed to have Cameron encased in a protective pod. How tall are you? 6'2". And, it would have been easier if it had been built for me. It is a tight fit. I'm pretty much like this.
You know, now that I remember, I do have that live stream. You can find it in my video section over on YouTube. You can subscribe to my channel as well. But if you keep going, I think it was like July, August of last year. That's when I did the deep sea episode, and we saw like a documentary and whatnot, and it was focused on bioluminescent creatures found in the deep sea. But I also explained a little bit about the Mariana Trench and that whole backstory to it, and it's a slow discovery and whatnot, blah blah blah. But you can check out that video again. It's in the video section. It's in parts. I think it's like 5 or 6 parts, but it's really interesting. They're not that long. It's like 15 minutes each or some shit like that. Check it out. Again, it's in the video section. But this is quite fascinating, even if it's pretty old, 2012. It's almost like 9 years old at this point. I actually know, 10 years old at this point. 11.
It's for about 10 hours.
You're not worried about cramps or anything?
Not yet. Cameron expects time will pass as he captures 3D images and hopefully sea life from the trench's floor, as he has already done on previous test dives.
And I can actually slurp up little critters, or I can suck onto an animal and pick him up and drop him into a bio box.
If something goes wrong, there is a fail-safe system, a series of weights released with the flip of a switch. It brings little comfort to Cameron's mother, who worries.
I love my family, my kids, and there's nothing I love more. But I also have to do this. I also have to go look.
Getting some inspiration to make that, what is it called? Avatar. Oh, I think it's this one, the Journey to the Deep. I think that's the one I saw, but I wonder if there's one that's a little bit more. Okay, so let's see. What is this? Last one. Okay, let's see. Science focus. 10 of the most mysterious places in the oceans. Yeah, whatever, your science. Normally I would just say no to this cookie stuff and I'd move on, go to another webpage, but yeah, whatever. This is off of sciencefocus.com. You know what? I will save this webpage. This looks extremely interesting and something that I would love for us to see. Northern Lights. Any videos? No. Oh well. When is the Northern Lights supposed to be shown? This was April 25th. So, oh, okay. So, look at the skies. Last night, and they may return later this week. Wait, but I don't understand. Beautiful. Okay, this was 8 hours ago. I love the damn you, New York Times, with your bullshit of trying to make me hiding shit behind paywalls. Okay, so this is KARE11.com. This is nice. This is Minnesota news. Shout out to Minneapolis, Minnesota, home of one of my favorite artists of all time, one of my favorite musicians of all time. Shout out to Prince. Okay, so it says here's what the Northern Lights looked like in Minnesota and Wisconsin.
We've been getting some awesome photos of some Northern Lights lately. The Northern Lights happen when solar flares...
Nope. Shut up. Wow, that's beautiful. You're not going to show like the actual image? Ooh, my camera's not liking this at all. Nice. Okay, this is the first image here that we're looking. It's a Brian Pierce, Forest Lake, Minnesota. Wow. That is so beautiful, dude. Wow. Like Teresa Thompson, Roberts, Wisconsin. Dude, you Minnesotians and you Wisconsinians are just so lucky, dude. You're able to experience. This is a lifelong goal of mine, to be able to see an aurora borealis like that. And not to mention to be able to capture an image like this. This is beautiful, dude. Look at that, bro. Sarah Helmberger, Benson, Minnesota, dude. So, the Carrington event, I talked about this. This was like 2 or 3 months ago. We were reviewing Fascinating Horror, and we started reading about it. And one of the things is the Carrington event. And the Carrington event is a phenomenon that happened that was viewed worldwide, and it was the first time that scientists had discovered what we know now as solar flares, and that spiraled into this worldwide phenomena happening, and there was an aurora borealis that was being shown worldwide, bruh. Like and it was there for a week or something. There were people that actually killed themselves because of it, because they thought that the world was ending. They thought that this was 1859. This was a long time ago. So obviously now scientists could explain a phenomenon like that, but back then, no one knew what was going on. Obviously, okay, it wasn't like worldwide at the same time. Many places in the world experienced that aurora borealis happen. Like, they were able to see it. Because it happened for such an extended period of time, it freaked people out. And yeah, scientists say that if that phenomena were to happen now, it would cause grave harm to us as like a society, because it would definitely get rid of like electricity basically as we know it. We'd have to start over again because it would fry like electric plants and shit. It's pretty rough. Look it up. It's called the Carrington event. Really interesting. Christine Bergstrom Gibbs, Grand Marais, Minnesota. Wow, dude, if I were this person, I would print this picture and I would put it on my wall, because this is just beautiful. Bjorn Frank, Frontenac State Park. I hope this person is a musician, because they can use this as an album artwork. If not, dude, I would put this image up for sale. Like this specific one this top one right here, I would put this on sale, and dude, people would buy this. Someone would buy this to use it as the album artwork for some like dream pop kind of new wave-ish chill hop pop, some shit like that, dude. That would be pretty fucking awesome. Wild Ridge Photography, Wild River State Park. Dang, I wonder if it's like doctored, because it looks photoshopped, but this could well be the actual image. It's beautiful. Mother Nature, bruh. Let's go. Ben Soon, International Falls, Minnesota. Eljoy Gary. And I guess this is all the same pictures, but it's like one after the other. I'll watch them again. I don't care. Let me see. Can I make them a little bigger? Here, I'll put those. I'll work on the crop, because I cropped like the edges of the screen so I can be able to have everything fit properly. But I'll work on that so we can have a better window capture for tomorrow. Wow, I'm absolutely in love with this picture. And this would do the snow in the bottom. It's just everything. It just complements how beautiful that aurora borealis looks behind in the sky. Wow. Another one that could definitely be used like in album artwork. I could picture this, darkening like the bottom portion of the picture, but leaving that part on top. Dude, it could be. I could either attribute it to like a synth. It's kind of a synth pop band, or like a death metal horror band, like a black metal band. Bruh, I'd have like the if I were the one taking the picture, obviously I'd have the band stand like obviously separately, but all across like the snow. My mind. That office in The Office, when Michael says that his mind is going 5 miles per hour. That's what I think about when I hear that. My mind is going 1,000 miles an hour. Michael Scott's mind is only going 5 miles per hour, and it's like holy shit. Wow. Bro, look at that. Dude, Minnesota and Wisconsin. Look at that, bro. Come on now. If you see something like this, wouldn't you think to yourself, like, what is happening? Like, are we okay? Is everything gonna be fine? Wow. I would print this picture and I would put it up so quickly if I were the person that took the picture, because it looks so awesome. Okay, we'll end this. I meant to end the stream before. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna end it right now, because if not, I'll keep going. But tomorrow, I'm gonna leave this one open, science focused, and we're gonna start right here with 10 of the most mysterious places in the oceans. It's 12:30 here. I'm hungry. Your boy has to eat. I'm gonna make myself some. I got some rice. Gonna fry some chicken. And on top of that, I'm gonna eat it with some salad. Maybe some beans. Let's go. Just think, even talking about it has me all hungry. Bro, look how fucking awesome my t-shirt is. My wife gave me this for one of my birthdays. One of my favorite bands of all time. I love Portishead. If you haven't heard Portishead, you're definitely missing out. Missing out on some great music. They've released amazing albums. This was wonderful. I appreciate everyone that followed me today. I appreciate everyone that stopped by. Again, this means the world to me. Ex-God Holiday, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much for that follow. Thank you so much for chatting as well. I really appreciate that. Had a couple of other follows. King Nick 007, thank you so much for following. Halfgan 644, thank you for following as well. And to that scammer that came in, same thing I say to all the other scammers that come in here trying to scam your boy here. Go fuck yourself. 3-fold, 4 times, 5 times, 1 time, however many times you feel that it's necessary for yourself to get fucked. That's what I wish for you, buddy. Hate these scammers. I hate them. I don't like them. Keep them away from me. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another Coffee, the News, and Us, another morning hangout. Remember, Thursday and Friday, it's random topic day. We're going to be picking out of the box, see what topic fate has for us to enjoy those 2 days. Join the Discord, King Angel's Entertainment Lounge. We watch movies, album listens, documentaries. We can continue the conversation there as well. I'm also opening up a channel that's going to be for suggestions only, for reviews and discussion videos that I make for YouTube. You can check out my videos as well. You can find the links in the description box or in the about section, or like I said before, in the description of the live stream that you are currently watching on Facebook. I'm having some really, really tough issues with this camera. As you can definitely tell with how many times it does that thing. Oh well. Like I was saying, join the Discord if you want to further support me. If you like what I do, $2 a month. You can head over to Patreon. I'm trying to grow that Patreon community as much as possible. So, as well, all the links you can find in the same place I mentioned before. That would be of great help. This is my bread and butter, and with your support, I can A, help improve the show, and B, eat. Not the eat part. I mean, this is my bread and butter. This is what I do, and you have no idea how happy it makes me to be here. And I was meant to be in front of a camera. I was meant to do this. Should have started doing this when I thought about it a very long time ago, but no better time to start things than now, because you're alive, you're here, and yeah, that's just the way it goes. Find me all across social media. You can see all the icons right here. Bam. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, what's the other one? Twitter, as long as that Twitter's there. I signed up for the new one as well. It's called Blue Sky. I'm waiting for them. They have like a beta opening them soon. You'll find me there as well. Hopefully being able to mitigate all of these graphic design scammers that are on Twitter and start off on a new platform fresh, where I can actually have followers and grow a following that doesn't consist of 60% of my Twitter followers as of this point. 60 or 70 are all graphic design scammers. We've talked about this before. I'm going to post a video of it, of last week's stream on YouTube tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. I posted one today as well. I went to go see Frank Ocean 2017 at the FYF Fest, and I recorded a whole bunch of it, and we relived one of the songs that he performed that I had recorded together. So you can find that under my concert videos. So yeah, thinking of anything else that I should be mentioning, join the Discord, please. I want to hear your opinions and watch a movie with you. Let's watch a movie together. Let's watch a documentary. Let's talk about it. Let's have conversation. Let's engage. Let's hang out. Bro, I know you want to. You can find the link in the description box below, in the about section. It'll take you right to the Discord with that invite link. You can check the chat as well, and you can see it there. Join the Discord. I'd love to see you in general chat, engaging with me. Beyond that, you guys have a very wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here. This is the King Angel Show. As you guys know, I'm King Angel, a Bay Area live streamer and content creator here on YouTube and Twitch. Wait, hold on. I had to go back to the thing here. Wow, it's crazy. I wonder what's... Oh, you know what's flashing on the microphone is my desktop that has a screensaver on, and that's what's reflecting here on the mic. So that's what you see, that light change there. I just fucking noticed that. That's insane. All right, like I said, you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is the King Angel Show. I'm King Angel. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.